So I hate to start off on a bummer, but sometimes it has to. So real quick moment of silence for Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace to that dude, man.
He's my Batman.
He for 100%. Like that voice is so fucking iconic. I did some reading up on him, just like oh, I'll check the dude's life out now that it's put it in, bookmark on that, like he's like a classically trained actor, and like he was doing like plays and stuff. He like didn't want to do Batman the Animated Series at first, and then when he finally agreed, he wanted to do one of the other characters. I think Bullock was like the character that he really wanted to do. Yeah, and
makes sense.
And I think like the quote that they said was they asked if he could do one. He said, "Can I do one of the characters?"
That's great.
But then over time he's like become like so connected to that character that like he's in love with that. He became like, not really, but he became like so connected, and he would always like write stuff about it and everything. Like he became a fan of the character, I guess is the word is to say.
That's funny how that works. Similarly, because I was on Hellraiser podcast with Dante lately, so I was like watching some videos on Hellraiser. Doug Bradley is also like an actor, and didn't want to do Pinhead. He wanted to just do one of like moving guys at the beginning, like as a side bit part, because he's friends with Clive Parker,
right?
And then like he's now Pinhead.
Well, it's funny, like
when things work out like that in life, it's like who else could it? I can't imagine
exactly
where the franchise would be.
Exactly. It is funny because I was. The more I was reading, I was learning some shit about the dude, and he was a gay dude, and he said that's where he kind of found the connection to the character was kind of like living the secret life. Which I
didn't know that.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. I had not that I know the sexuality of most actors in Hollywood,
or in life, anybody.
Right. But yeah. I don't know. But rest in peace to that dude. And thank you for your contributions to fucking everything. I love specifically his work on like the video games where it could be a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like all those character actors kind of got to let their hair down to, to really let loose. So it's really, I don't know. It's an incredible body of work, when you think about it in total.
A lot of years.
Yeah, and like different shows from Batman to Superman to Justice League to the animated movies to the video games to what I mean. So, yeah, hats off to the dude. Other than that, Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your nerd week?
Well, speaking of Batman, because in memorandum,
I'll go with it.
Sure. Movie night, we swap out wherever we're watching. Watch Mask of the Phantasm. And
oh no shit.
Great. I was in 90s. It was early 90s, mid 90s, something like that.
Theatrical release.
It was a big deal, and I remember loving it a lot. I haven't watched it in a long time, and I think it still holds up well.
Was it the introduction of Batgirl?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. And I remember that, like, I remember thinking at the time, I was like, man, bold choice of a villain.
Somebody random, right? But it was I found a villain very interesting.
Yeah, agreed.
And also, like, I don't think she showed up again. Spoiler alert: is a lady. But like an actual like one and done villain that is memorable. It's nice that they just like left it alone and that be the completion of the story.
They made a fucking ton of characters iconic from that show that weren't prior.
Well, Harley wasn't.
Harley.
Well, it was literally invented on that show.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze. Like they took him and like gave him like the whole thing with
the wife
all that shit.
That
it's the shit.
That's a great show. Like there's a lot of Spears' moment in that show.
Scarecrow stuff, ventriloquist stuff. Like there's some really really impressive like things that they contributed to the Batman mythos.
And it was good that they didn't make it basically. I mean, I love G.I. Joe, but G.I. Joe every week was how we're going to beat Cobra, and now it's like how we're going to beat one of these 30 villains that we have.
And some of them, like, I mean, they were so fucking sophisticated. Like that one in particular, everybody goes to it because it's just so bloody good. But it's like the Almost Got 'Em episode where it's like Joker and Croc and Harvey and they're like sitting around a table and they're sharing stories about how they almost got him, and then he was there the whole time wearing the Croc suit.
Yes,
like
so good. And like the Clayface one where like the little girl came up.
That's another character that they gave a whole Man Bat. Like that he was like in the first episode, and like Man-Bat's like part of. I mean, he was in the comics, but he's like part of it now. And this is a lot. It's amazing. I want to watch it like right now.
Yeah, I watch it sometimes. Like Hardak, I don't know. Like that's a memorable one to me just because it's robots. First of all, it's like it talks about existential crisis. This robot thinks he's Batman, or this computer thinks he's Batman.
Oh yeah,
he's got to turn in the body. At the end, he can't be the bad guy because he is Batman. He kills himself. I'm like, bro. I'm like, it's so good.
I know.
But yeah, I love it, and I think I was talking to Krista. She doesn't think so, but maybe she doesn't remember. But as I was watching this movie again, I think it's like kind of ahead of its time for American animation. It doesn't show explicitly, but heavily implies that Bruce Wayne and the lady slept together. Like they kiss.
Oh, really?
Fade to black. Next scene is morning. She's on a balcony and he doesn't have a shirt on.
Well, obviously that's what they're going for.
Yeah, but that's not something I remember seeing in cartoons, like American cartoons.
Yeah,
right?
that's fair.
And
you're right.
There were scenes where the cops are like shooting him with bullets, and an explosion happened, and he's fucked up and bleeding, like and running away. I'm like, this is not like. I'm like, this is a violent. Like,
it was also
violence.
The whole show was done on black paper.
Huh. Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, like just to give it a darker, grittier feel. Like, it had never been done before.
It
like
looks great.
Yeah.
And Chris was like, oh, I'm sure there was sex and violence on cartoons back then. I'm like, really? Can you think of one? Because I can't.
I'm not sure.
And like we're talking about, like she was like about Looney Tunes. And like, yeah, that's cartoon violence.
Yeah.
This is
not
like real violence.
Yeah, where there's real consequence.
Yeah, people getting punched and then being put in the hospital.
Agreed.
Like, it's not the same. But yeah, I love that show. I would watch it anytime. It's unfortunate we didn't record any of that.
I know.
That was a great conversation.
I thought you guys were recording.
But then we got off of it, and then we got back on it somehow, and
because we love that.
Yeah,
that Batman. We have that in common.
Yeah.
But why does Batman always only fuck villains?
No, he fucked Wonder Woman.
Okay, I didn't go that far.
And
like
Vicky Vale.
He fuck. She's a reporter. She can kind of be a villain.
She can be.
She could be for sure.
Not in her.
Like Phantasm, fucking Catwoman, fucking like a lot of fanfic about him and Harley.
So yeah, but that's not a thing.
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
But I think that like the Catwoman thing is more like that's a perfect relationship for me because like he would be attracted to something that's not totally good. You know, it's part of it for him. But Talia, yeah.
Just loves them fucking bad girls.
Yeah. Who was Black Canary? He had a thing with her for a bit as well. Zatanna, I want to say at one point too.
Zatanna.
So all of them.
Yeah, he slings it. He slings it. I think it's more. I think it's more function. Like it's more like well, I don't want to be tight. I got to be loose tomorrow. Like, but anyway, what you got next, Joe?
Because of you.
Sounds like a song.
I was just thinking of that song.
Because of you.
Yes,
we got to play that.
Never straight to side on a sidewalk. Yeah. I've been watching Alone. You know how I am. My nerd week isn't huge because the way I watch things is I live life. I get into one thing and I get really fucking into it.
Right? Hyperfixation, sure.
Yeah.
But you've been watching Alone with company, and I don't know how I feel about it.
It's been making me appreciate company even more.
Which season are you watching?
Well, Netflix has season 8.
So I guess that's what I watched.
Yes,
I watched.
And then I found out Hulu has the rest of them.
Oh, it's on Hulu.
Yeah,
well,
has the rest of them.
Just playing my week.
We just finished season 2 last night. We watched 1 and 2.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't check out all of them.
Yeah, they're fucking great, and I didn't expect.
What is the premise? Like in a sentence, if you were selling it to me, you're in Hollywood, baby, and you're trying to sell me
10 people get dropped off in British Columbia, and whoever lasts the longest wins.
Oh, this is the Survivor thing. Gotcha. I remember now.
They're filming themselves though.
Yeah, there's no crew.
Yeah, you're over the tents and the camp,
yeah.
and
they check in on them.
We talked about Martin. There's campers at Martin Luther King Boulevard that don't have to pay shit.
Something like that. Yeah.
And everyone has they can pick 8 things or something. There's a list. They can pick 8 things from it to take with them, and it's good. It's fucking good. And that's the closest thing to actual reality TV I've seen. There's no people fucking break down. They start crying and shit. Like fucking
talking to themselves, like having whole conversations.
Fucking asking God to rain some fish on them. It's crazy. Love it. And I didn't expect the endings to be emotional. But all 3 seasons so far, the end is not tearjerker, but just man, that feels good. These people have been out there a minute, 2 months. because last time we talked, I didn't finish season 8 yet, but they were out there for like 100 days, like literally starving to death and didn't want to leave. They had to be pulled by medical because like this one lady passed out in the snow in the fucking woods and then got back to camp eventually, but she said, I'm good to go. I can stay. I can't feel my toes, but I'm good to stay. Like, bro, that's some power.
Yeah, well, it's also, is it $500,000?
Yeah.
$250,000? It's a lot of money.
But a lot of people tap there was, dude, this one dude that, spoiler, he didn't last 6 hours. He was real gung-ho. He got dropped off day 1 before nightfall. He's like, I'm done.
What's the coldest you've ever been?
Cold. Like the coldest exposure temperature?
Like, just like, you're like, fuck, this is the coldest moment of my life. Like
the outside
fucking
temperature?
Freezing.
Oh.
Yeah. Like,
I remember specifically.
yeah, I feel like it's one of those memories that usually people have a very specific memory of.
It was 8th grade. I ran away from home and I was sleeping in the truck bed.
Like a pickup truck bed?
Yeah, so just like several neighborhoods. I don't know how far I went. Somewhere in Colombia. And like they had like a tarp on their truck bed. So I went in there and used the tarp as my, but I was fucking, dude.
Yeah.
I was like tempted to just fucking knock on someone's door to go inside.
Mine was working outside, and it was at night, and there was snow on the ground, and we were working for hours, and I got so fucking cold. I went into a mopping van, and I took my socks off, tied them around my toes in a knot, and put them back in my shoes to like continue working. I was so fucking cold. Yeah.
Mine would be, I remember it was like I'd started this job and I got super fucking sick. Like I probably had the fucking flu, if I'm being honest. But they were moving, like the week I started, they were moving locations. So we were literally packing fucking U-Haul trucks with just boxes and just random shit. And I remember I was I was sick as hell. I was like, I was at a point in my life where I'm like, fuck, I have to have this job. I'm gonna, I can't call in sick the second day I work here. So I'm fucking toughing it out. And I just remember like between being sick and then just being, and it was as it was cold. It was Alabama cold. It was probably in the 20s,
right?
Which I mean,
that's cold.
We don't have and I don't have clothes for the 20s now,
right?
Yeah, it was awful.
So
I remember that distinctly.
That night that I'm talking about, also like I like just another factor of it. Like I'm wet because all the mopping liquids and stuff. Like it's just like it was just brutal. My dad, I remember talking to my dad about like
you're just dying from being wet.
No, mopping liquids. Well, that could be a lot of stuff.
Wet and mopping liquids.
My dad tells this story because he was a firefighter, and when he was in his younger days and was like not an officer, he was riding an ambulance, and it was an old ambulance, snowing its ass off. It broke down. The battery died, and they didn't have like portable radios. They only had the ambulance radio to connect, so they couldn't even tell anybody. It just so happened that another ambulance was coming past. They flagged them down, got the patient that they had into the other ambulance. That other ambulance took the patient to the hospital. They hitchhiked back to the firehouse, called once they got to the firehouse to like get a reserve ambulance. They brought in this piece of shit that like they don't have to exist or God knows when, you know what I mean? And they brought it in. They had to run it the rest of the night, but there was like the floorboards were like eaten away. Like
you can Flintstones that shit?
Yeah, they had to put cardboard down to like not have their foot hang out of the bottom of the fucking ambulance. Like, it's like fucking crazy.
You think the other ambulance would take the patient to the hospital and come back for them?
But I mean, still, that would have been like an hour of like,
fuck.
So, anyway,
just about finished moving my stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, there's no more stack for. I mean, even the last house, I never finished moving into my last house. I've actually been in this house longer than I have the last house I was in. It's time.
Joe, you moved in there.
Faster.
You moved in there last week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy. But yeah, there's no more stacks of boxes. Everything is
must be
unpacked.
Nice.
It's unpacked. Nice. Like there's some shit in the workshop that could be rearranged, whatever. But that's the workshop.
Right.
There and I filled all those new detolfs. Some stuff I haven't posed yet. I put everything where it's supposed to be, but I lost energy.
Right.
At some point, I can't stand action figures up anymore.
Yeah.
That keeps falling over. But it's great, and I'm loving it. It's
Nice.
It's awesome.
It feels fucking good. If like after having the last box go out yesterday and recycling, I'm like, bro, 3 years I moved in. I feel fucking done for once.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who has had that feeling. Anyone who's like moved and then just never, ever in their life completed moving in, because I've done that so many times. And then there's times when there are boxes that I unpacked when I moved into this house, not from just last week, but when I unpacked here, that was from 2 houses ago that I didn't unpack in the last house. So like for me, it's a personal accomplishment.
That is great.
Yeah,
I remember
awesome.
we pulled some stuff out of storage over the summer, and it was shit that like, before Kelly and I moved into our last house, I had boxed up, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't even remember owning this shit, so let's just... I did about a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, that's part of it too. Me just being like, this is my forever home. Like, if I don't have a place for this, I don't have a place for it in my life.
Exactly.
And then it's going in the trash. Yeah, I have some more stuff in the garage I need to get rid of, but that's also, bullshit space, and I can just trash that stuff. It's a bunch of Legos. Who wants a fucking a sack? You want Legos?
I'll take any loose Legos you have, man.
Will you really?
Yeah, legit.
I have a lot of Legos.
I'll come get them.
Okay, awesome.
Well, since we have a date afterwards, we'll...
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Brofest.
Brofest. Bobby, you're coming, right?
No.
He
I
was
can't.
invited though.
He was
so-
invited.
I was invited. I can't. My day's fucked. Fucked.
It's college season. Your day's not gonna be unfucked till like January.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
are you telling me that hot waffles aren't going to unfuck your day?
No.
How waffles with onions on it?
And I need to curb my appetite these days anyway.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You need to curb your enthusiasm is what you need to do.
yeah,
You need to go like this and just go... It's all right. Me and Joe will go.
Go, they just copyright it.
And then we'll go...
we just get flagged.
He just flagged us.
Like, I'm like, I
Himself.
can't sing it. It's a cover. It's a cover song. It's supposed to be okay. Fair use.
Speaking of accomplishments, I am, after how many years I've been on the show, Bobby? 6 years, maybe?
Maybe,
5?
yeah.
3?
Deadpool 2. When did Deadpool movie come out?
I've lived here 5 years. So, and you were on the show when I moved here.
Yeah. Before you were on the show.
Before I was on the
So
show.
I've been on
Let's say 6.
So it says 6. I've
6 is good.
been helping content creation for 6 years. We did some skits in the past that of Twitch for Krista. But I am now officially my own content creator because I got a payout from Twitch. All of $60. It's amazing.
That's awesome, man.
It's all a joke though because I don't care. I tell people not to fucking give me money. They do. It's fine.
Don't spend it all.
So
on
how many hours of twitching? That still doesn't
month?
sound right. Have you done?
I don't know how many hours.
I didn't know if
I don't keep track because I
long enough to look at his screen for so long where he actually twitches when he twitches.
You know, I've thought,
my Twitch definitely.
I think you might have. Next time I do a project, if I don't do it live, I'll at least screen record it. Like I really wish I'd done that when I did that Aztec layout. I wish I'd screen
It's
recorded
not
that.
the hardest thing to do.
You got to remember to do it.
And feel like for instance, a lot of times when I'm doing things, it's one of the few times that I am alone.
You're right. Yeah, when I'm in the shop, I'm like, man, I should set up a.
I'm like, man, I don't want to have to like answer questions. And
But you don't have to. You can. There are something called co-working or study with me streams where it's people with the camera on and chats going or whatever, and they're just working. They're just working or studying or whatever. This one guy channel is very popular. He's like studying to be a doctor, so he would just be in the library for hours and he would stream it, and people would just tune in and also just be group study. Just have someone to sit with quietly. So I mean, that's
interesting.
I mean, I personally like the quiet companion in general in life. I like people who I like enough to sit comfortably in silence and just hang out.
Right.
That's the kind of social energy I like. So I get it, but yeah, you don't have to. There's a lot of and big streams don't interact with people at all.
big streams.
When they have like
Big dreams,
20,000
big streams.
They do. They be having like 20,000 live viewers, and this chat is just fucking scrolling. They're not interacting.
Right.
They're doing their own fucking thing.
Like every now and then I'll listen to like the audio Twitch rip of DJ Academics from time to time, usually when it's involved in some drama. And like, of
course,
I don't know what his viewership is, but I'm sure it's ridiculous. But like, he interacts with them like quickly, and like, he like, I don't know, I don't mean in a negative sense. but he uses them as a resource. Like he'll be like, such and such. I believe he said such and such. Find it, chat. Find it, and they'll be like, yep, here it is. It was on March 3rd. Such and such. He'll be like, I knew it. And like he'll continue it to make his point, but he like uses them to like find little details and stuff to like fine tune his point. It's pretty interesting.
So can't you people can pay for super chat, right?
Yeah,
and that's probably the people he's interacting with. Yeah. Oh, I thought you could do it on.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Switch has
basically. I know YouTube.
Super
you
chat
have super chat.
Money, yeah,
and that's like. I know a couple wrestling streams I watch. They're like, yeah, if you want to get mentioned on the show, because they read all the super chats on the air.
Yes, because it's
super chat.
It's a lot. Some people get really good. Like when the chat is scrolling real fast, their eye will just catch one thing and reply to that or whatever, and keep the conversation going.
But hey, man, listen, that's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Here, cheers.
It's just
and it'll only get better.
It's ironic.
I
mean, I didn't do it for money. Like
I understand, but regardless, it's never a bad thing.
Yeah, it's just free money for doing what
nobody gets money and goes, fuck.
So, I mean,
goddamn money.
I'm not like that, but I don't like, because you get to see it live when someone gives you money, right?
Till you start hitting tax brackets.
That's
when you're like, fuck.
But you're so far from that, like to be really hurt by it, and then you can just strive to get where you're not hurt anymore by it.
I need to hit the next tax bracket so I can enjoy this tax.
That fucking SNL shit, the Dave Chappelle. Did anybody watch that?
Yeah, I've got it on my list here, but
fucking amazing.
It was great.
Fucking amazing. We'll talk about it. I have it in the notes.
Yeah. So real content creator, but I don't like receiving gifts, so I see it as receiving gifts.
Mm-hmm. If I didn't give a gift, just immediately.
Hey, look, if Joe's not subscribing,
if you're gonna be a content creator, you gotta get over it.
Yeah. Well, I just turn it off somehow.
Turn the content creating off.
Or hey, no,
I've been doing it for 6 years without taking any money.
But you've gotten shit out of people have sent you stuff like people it's just part of it.
Can you just turn it on where it donates it to a charity? Anything anybody gives, and pick a charity that you like better than your own charity, or just
Bobby's mental health.
Listen, hey,
I'll
like
take it. I'll find a space for that $66.
You could buy a child 2 deluxe chugs with that.
That was what I was thinking, like $60. Oh, I can buy a whole stack of magic cards or a single magic card.
Well, there you go.
You should be like every time
stock in a very expensive.
Every time I reach $100, I will buy a Detolf. Put things I don't want in it anymore, and then set the whole thing on fire on Twitch.
Yo, people would throw money at dumb shit, man.
So we could come up with so many creative ways to blow up a Detolf. Set it on fire, blow it up.
We should
shoot it.
Get someone to try to run through it.
Yeah, sledgehammer.
Someone younger
with
than
their
us.
body.
Imagine taking a sledgehammer, like a baseball swing sledgehammer, to a Detolf.
Ooh,
yeah.
You know what?
We can test how sturdy these
Death
motherfuckers
matches.
are. Jesus.
Or a Detolf
wrestling?
Detolf toss.
Bro.
Yeah.
Just like a log toss?
Who can throw it the furthest?
Like you tip it. You get to grab the bottom and you flip that bitch.
You flip it. Like, how many Detolfs?
We have a field out here.
Yeah.
Who's going to clean all the glass up there?
Let's get tarps.
Tarps. Well, let's go to the basketball court then.
Yeah.
The one over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do it.
We can take it to Fort Armistead.
The Detolf Olympics.
We take it to Fort Armistead. It's always trash there anyway.
Title.
Did you listen?
We're gonna have We're gonna have audience there and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fort Armistead.
You don't have to clean up afterwards.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're gonna take it.
Sell tickets to.
Then we take it. We take a Detolf. And fill it full of condoms and leave it in Fort Armistead. It's like as long as you leave this here,
this into a whole art piece.
Yes.
As long as you leave this here, we will continue.
Just take Detolf's places and leave them like a Banksy.
Do we put anything?
There'll be statement pieces in there.
Do we put any? Yeah.
What is art though? You can put anything in there. People interpret it.
We need a fourth because we have to have 4. Who's going to be our fourth to fill this Detolf? Because we each get a shelf every time.
Yeah, that's true.
Have to make those dildos with suction.
We can have a rotating cast.
A McRib.
Actually, what we'll do is
or Szechuan sauce.
Dude, we like go to PETA and like just leave fast food in it.
Hey, we'll just make it a purchase.
You know what I mean? Like make it an art thing.
Yes.
We'll make it the bottom shelf it's a purchasable item on the website. You can purchase the bottom shelf,
and then we'll take pictures of it, sell the prints.
Yes.
and then
yes.
sell the NFT.
Yeah, and then I will finally feel like I'm an artist.
And then maybe I hear it would sponsor.
They'll be like, you drew Transformers for 6 years. I was like, yeah, but it wasn't until I put a Big Mac in a Detolf where I truly became an artist.
That's right.
Bro, I'm in on this
I'm
idea.
actually in also.
Yes.
We can all lay a nice turd on those glass panels, and that can be one of them.
And I think taking one to Fort Armistead and like leaving
Right?
like safe sex literature in it and like all like
Condoms,
spray cans,
butt
spray paint
plugs.
cans.
dildos.
And
all kinds of stuff.
we could drill through with anchors and actually mount it to the fucking floor.
We'll come back. We can have
See what happens.
Get a cheap ring cam.
And don't steal this idea, or
Yeah.
if you do, give us royalties.
Yeah, just
That's
keep,
right.
keep put a ring cam in there just to see what happens.
Detolf Olympics. Let us know if you're
Detolf
interested.
Olympics. Yep,
Bro,
Get you signed up.
I'm fucking so in.
it's a statement, really,
The winner
You have
gets
the best ideas.
the
here,
winner
man.
gets to go to a Waffle House with us.
Yes,
dude.
take us off our house.
We could leave one at Waffle House.
So I mean, we could literally just make a whole thing where like, me and Bobby are carrying this Detolf. Joe's just got a clipboard. He comes in and looks at the clipboard. So yeah, we're gonna put it right here. Hey, we'll be back for this, and just leave. Just see how long somebody will leave a Detolf there. This is a very YouTube thing.
Yeah,
Yes, I love everything about this.
yeah.
I was talking about magic cards.
Magikarp, the Pokemon.
Magikarp is Pokemon cards are might be going to do better than Magic cards at some point, but like, bro, Hasbro is in the fucking news and financial news for how shitty they're treating Magic. It's amazing.
Good.
I've been saying this for a long time, for like a year since I've gotten back into Magic. I immediately saw the problem.
Prophet of the Faceless.
That's me.
We have to flesh that out.
But
before somebody
anybody,
steals it.
that's the thing is anybody can be the prophet of the
I know,
faceless.
but we could also trademark it and make money. off
We
of
have
it.
to have little slogans for each of us when we predict, like Prophet of the Faceless, Bobby's crazy till Bobby's right, and then we got to have a slogan for you.
I don't know. I'm from Alabama.
Casserole.
Casserole ho.
I'm on a casserole.
But
Call me a casserole.
apparently, like anywhere between 15 to a third of Hasbro's income is from Magic.
Is it?
I believe it. I believe it
That's
because
crazy.
I read some data report from
No
them.
idea.
Like it was around the time that they did HasCon. I read some data report of like where their earnings came from, and Magic and Nerf are responsible for like over 50% of all of their
I
sales.
knew Nerf was a huge portion of it.
Like they're saying they're killing the golden goose. They squeeze it too hard. They're about to kill it because they have been and
Won't be happy until they ruin it.
And the thing is it's going to be only Hasbro's loss because Wizards of the Coast is a subsidiary or something because they were their own company bought out by Hasbro. If Hasbro tanks, somebody else can just buy Magic off of them.
Speaking of Hasbro missteps, I have that Sergeant Slaughter figure. Did you get that as well? Did you take the? Did you look at it without the hat and glasses?
I mean, I didn't.
Why would you take the clothes off a doll?
It looks like Adolf Hitler.
I didn't.
Like I was like,
I think it's because of the head shape. I think you're right because it's about the head shape.
I was like, what the fuck?
They did a pretty good job. I mean, it looks just like the dude.
But what if Sergeant Slaughter was secret identity was Adolf Hitler though? He's too jacked, but
just the face,
Yeah,
just the face.
just the face. I can
Let me
see
see.
it.
Just a bit,
Especially with
it's
that
the
mean
smear.
mugging. Yeah.
But keep in mind,
The hair, the stash.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you need a what is it, 12 scale? What is it?
it's
So you need a 12 scale Hitler for your
head swap. You can head swap.
you can head swap it with somebody.
Put it on the Agents of Shield's body, like with the suit.
Oh yeah, just sand off the sides of the stash.
Or you could get an Imperial officer.
Oh, for sure. If you need that for your
wow.
collection.
All right, I'm
How
uncomfortable
fitting.
again. Let's
Yep,
get back to
okay.
it.
I mean,
Sorry.
some people might have you collect bad guys. You have villains on your shelf.
Well, you know, like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, like the
With the
not the movie, but the movie's
I like
the same
the movie.
concept.
I like the
Ugh.
movie.
But like
Sean Connery.
the
Sean Conroy.
like you know, like the comic book was basically like a rip on
Yes.
the Avengers
Yes.
and Justice League, and like they took all these like characters that were fair use and just put them in like this group. If we could make a villains,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean, have like Stalin and you know, you know what I mean,
It's too soon.
like
It's too soon.
have two shelves.
Hi, Patreon.
How much will you pay for a Hitler custom?
Well, so all the money, all the proceeds for the bad guys had to go to charities to the respective countries of which they destroyed.
For
We
sure,
can't
for
make profits
No,
on
no,
that.
you can't profit off Hitler customs. Please, please don't.
And you got the nerve to be wearing some Yeezys in here. God damn.
Oh man. I don't even have one either. Actually, you know what's funny? I think about it before I put them on now.
Me too.
Wow.
And not because just because I like how people view it. Like You know, like I don't want
Most people have no fucking clue.
You're probably right.
Because they look,
right.
I mean,
They're just shoes.
Avia sells a rip-off of the black ones at Walmart, you know? Whatever.
Probably right. Dude, we can make QAnon. He's like that little Asian dude from, you know, from the...
Bobby, what are you on today? God.
He comes with like a 4chan computer screen, like...
Yes. I'm down.
As an accessory.
All right. Hey, we have, dude, this is a brainstorming like gold mine, this episode.
Nerd Rage think tank.
Yes.
All right, continue.
Yeah, Hasbro. So I'm actually probably just stop at a card store after Waffle House to buy some cards.
There we go.
But I only buy singles. I don't buy packs anymore until like Hasbro can get the shit. They showed a chart of like amount of products Magic put out. It's literally double the amount of sets as like 3 years ago.
No doubt.
And now, even last year, it's like, dude, it's consumer fatigue. Your wallet can only handle so much, and people eventually get overwhelmed. Because if you're any kind of collector mentality, maybe you can relate. It's like, sometimes you're like, either I get everything or I fucking get nothing.
Right.
You know, if you're collecting stuff, and like, I'm getting it. And when you start to stretch thin, and you have to pick and choose, I'm like, well, if I can't complete a collection anyway, I'm going to fucking just drop this line. And I think I'm not the only one who feels that way
about Magic,
about collecting. in general.
No, I see that a lot. I mean, I know a lot of people got really frustrated with the G.I. Joe line early on because those Target exclusives, and they just aren't collecting it because of that.
Yeah. So they're like, "Fuck it, I can't get them anyway." Then you don't.
And they feel the same way about Serpentor and Mindbender too. Like,
I mean, they only gave you like 12 chances to get them, but
I
do too. But shout out to companies. Speaking of Hasbro, shout out to Hasbro deciding to, it's fourth quarter, let's take all your money.
But that's part of the problem. That's the part of the problem is like they trying to make the squeeze, but they're looking at the long term financials. Like you squeeze people now, you fucking take money from the future.
Fourth quarter numbers are a big deal. You know, in every business, fourth quarter numbers are a big deal.
Like their strategy to try to get more money is making them tank, like, because they're not thinking long term, which is whatever, because they're not real fucking nerds.
I don't know. I enjoy opening their toys now, where it seems like it's some bespoke piece of art that I ordered off Etsy, because it's all wrapped in little pieces of paper. It's like Crashbox fucking packed this figure. KJ Sparkles has her signature on it.
They try to do that with Magic cards too. Some of their special stuff it's like literally one card in a foam, in a box, in an outsized sleeve, and then in a box. I'm like, come on.
Wow.
It's a little special stuff.
Hate to see it.
Dude, I put up on Patreon yesterday. I opened for the listeners too. If you want to join Patreon to get some shit, you can. But I opened up the books to all the art stuff and all the mediums, right? And I was looking through the comments, and it was like, love to see it. Love to hear it. And somebody else said, Sherpa, love to feel it.
Nice. Hey, are we going to have Nerd Rage merch available for that? Because we have a fresh new logo that
which one?
Well, I just kind of redid the logo.
Oh, that's true.
Made it transparent.
That's true. I can use whatever. The way that fucking shit works is like, look, I like this design. I want it on this thing, and I'll make it happen for you.
There you go.
Like, but it's only on Patreon because I can't. It's too much.
What about your wife's rolls? Can you put a picture of those on them?
Bro, only with butter.
Yeah.
Irish butter.
I might have them. Like I said, like a lot of people may have the opportunity to have some of my wife's rolls next year.
Oh my god!
But I'll get back to that later.
I'm looking forward to this. Was it next week?
Yeah.
Are you doing things?
I'm working.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have in for a leave. If I get it, then maybe. But I'm working right now. I'm like 7th or 8th on the waiting list. Oof. It's not great. Not great odds.
Yeah. Well, you've had a pretty strong showing lately. I can't remember the last major holiday you worked.
Yeah, it's because, but I mean, like this year I'm supposed to work another holiday, and I maneuvered. But
you mean your teeth are getting long there, Bobby? You're getting a little seniority over these kids.
Yeah, you'd think.
You'd hope so.
You'd think.
But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and if anyone's a lot of people are liquidating their Magic cards. Apparently, a lot of people are selling shit. So, like, if anyone's selling Magic cards, let me know, because I'm in the market to buy some cheap cards.
Yeah, there you go. Cha-ching. Wish I had that button right there.
like you went through the motion of pressing an imaginary button that doesn't exist.
Well, I've had an interesting couple weeks.
Was that it? Were you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just making sure I'm not fucked up.
So, I guess I'll start a couple weeks ago. And once again, this show being recorded the way it is now is totally screwing my mind up. But we went to Legion's Con. Kelly and I drove up to New Jersey the weekend of my birthday, the 5th and 6th.
That's where you go and get possessed by a demon, I believe. Right?
Yeah, so they were giving out. I won't bury the lead here. They were giving out viral souvenirs, and I was lucky enough to get one of them. I got the Bud Ice, as Bobby likes to call it.
How did you fare?
It sucked.
What did it?
It was probably. I would say since I've lived in Maryland, I've been sick, physically ill twice. Once I think I just had the flu. This was back in 2019, but this was by far the worst I've been sick since COVID.
You know what's a little weird? What's that shit going around with kids?
RSV.
Yeah, like that shit's out of control.
It is.
Like I was looking at
There's like they're closing whole classrooms down because one kid got it.
I was looking at charts of Maryland in particular, like the emergency room availability for like pediatrics is like none.
Yeah.
Like if like my kid were to break her arm right now, like we'd be in big trouble. Like
I love antibiotics on back order now because of it.
But I don't feel like it's getting.
They talk about it on like the Today Show and shit.
But I'm not seeing it in the same way I saw COVID. But I feel like it's probably like I feel like I still hear more about COVID today than I hear about this. But I feel like this is more directly impacting ways of life at the moment, and I find that all to be strange.
I've seen a lot more people wearing masks.
Maybe they're like the diseases are so out now, babe.
Well,
I feel like maybe kids being sick is normalized, and it doesn't stop people. Not necessarily immediately stop people from going to work. You know, even if people have to.
But these guys are getting sick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
So that's why I wasn't here last week. I honestly didn't get a chance to listen. So I don't know if you guys mentioned it or not. But
no, but we did talk about our movie idea, so you should really go back and listen.
Our movie idea,
the Nerd Rage movie idea.
Yeah. Oh, there's
it's great. It involves you and your wife.
It does.
Yes.
So go back and listen.
So we once again went to Legion's Con. Luckily, they did it was a 2-day Saturday, Sunday, and they did a Friday setup, which was it's always appreciate that because I'm always going to get there. You know, I wish NJCC could do that. You know, let us in before because you're not rushing around that morning to do it. So we get there and we have a nice little corner spot. I put some pictures up on social of it. Brian Brink, shout out to Brian. He's our road dog. He brought some stuff for us. And out on the way there, I'm like, I don't know if we're going to have room for all that. Because we took a Detolf with us.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Did you leave it there?
No,
you could have. You can afford it.
You're abandoning calls already.
We damn near. So, I mean, I'm surprised we didn't sell it. So we had a bunch of demo units, my dioramas essentially, some stuff that like had been broken in transit and returned that I had fixed. That I just had for a display. Who cares? And then we had a new stained glass window set and the new floors as like our show special. So we're, people are coming around and selling and get there Saturday morning. Of course, Friday night, you get all the vendors, you're looking at everybody else's stuff. They're looking at yours. I dip out for a minute on Saturday morning and I come back and Kelly started selling our demos. Like, what are you doing? She's like, people want to buy this stuff. They want to take it with them.
It's money.
Whatever.
And you don't have to take it home.
So I'm like,
sell it.
Can they at least leave it here so we have something to show? Like, yeah, we can do that. But people came by and we brought home damn near nothing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Love to hear.
Didn't even mean to do. I mean,
That's great.
It just worked out that way. Yeah. So came home. I have a side story. Actually, we ate at Bonefish Grill 2 nights in a row.
Bang Bang Shrimp.
Bang Bang Shrimp.
Dude,
it's good stuff.
It was so good. We ate with Brink one night, and then Gort was there. Shout out to Gort. Dom.
Gort's a cool dude. Man.
Yeah, Dom was there. I'm trying to think of anybody else from our. I'm forgetting somebody. I know I am, but
I hate doing that shit, man.
It was cool to see. I mean, there's a lot of people. Oh, shout out to Ryan G. He
yeah. I'm familiar.
Yeah, he listens.
Yeah,
but he bought my casino hallway diorama.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he bought that. So there's 2 in the world. He's got one of them.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Super good dude. But it was just not. I mean, a lot of these people I talked to online, a lot of other diorama guys that I talked to.
Guys in the business.
Yeah, I know.
Talking
shop. A lot. There's just, and it's I got to thinking like this is a fucking craft fair for nerds.
Yeah.
Because it's all like
That's so funny.
It is, and it's so
right.
funny
It's
to think
just
about.
so
But
funny.
so the Four Horsemen are here and they're selling their product, but the show's organized with them and has exclusives each day, a different exclusive.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, the line for the first day was, I think Dom got in. I think he waited 3 hours.
God damn.
The second, because what they messed
I
up.
thought this was a roller coaster. It's just for
Yeah.
a figure.
So the way they did the line, and this is my opinion, they had where you would buy stuff at the Four Horsemen's table and then get the exclusive at the end. The second day they did the exclusive in a completely separate area, and it was no line whatsoever. But yeah, so they're selling their original product. These exclusives are there, but everything else is pretty much something somebody has made.
Wow.
I mean, other than people are there.
I mean, it's great.
It's awesome.
I really like that.
Soft goods. People are doing the 3D design in the heads and the armor pieces, and then there's a whole nother group that doesn't design anything, but they just paint people's stuff and sell it. Then they're doing incredible work. I mean, I bought a couple little heads. Kelly bought a big troll head. She said it because it looks like Shrek. Like, that's fine. Bought some prints and stuff. Actually, shout out to Trevor, 16 Shooter. He's used our stuff in a lot of promo photos for the Mythic Legions, and he sells prints. So we have a couple more prints of, basically press photos with our work in it, which is always super
great.
Cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So that was a great experience. And something else I liked, the show ended at 3 on Sunday. It's like perfect.
Isn't that normal?
Some shows end at 3, some shows end at 6. I just
figured people usually leave by 3 anyway.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people, we were basically out the door at like 3:05. On the road, we decided we want to stop and get some food because it's my birthday that day. So I'm like, hey, let's go eat something. So we go to a Cracker Barrel.
Yes.
In New Jersey. It's an hour wait.
What'd you call me?
God.
You heard me.
Was it full of people looking like Bobby? Probably not.
No, it was. It must have been a staffing issue because it was like, I see 4 empty tables.
The kids probably have that whatever.
It's getting canceled. They're canceling it.
Canceling Cracker Barrel. So we're walking back out, and we ended up parking pretty far away just because, I don't know, whatever. So we're walking back to the car, and we're walking through the parking lot, and this car's coming. And, most people, if you're walking through the parking lot, they slow down. This motherfucker didn't. So I snatched Kelly out of a way of getting hit from this car. And the car doesn't even really slow down, but Kelly's Atlanta pops out and she says, "What's good, motherfucker?" There was no interaction, but I love my wife.
That's great.
Hate to miss it.
Yeah.
Hate to miss it.
Would have been great.
So I watched a lot of shit.
Nice.
Me too, actually.
I watched a lot of shit. I watched the Weird Al movie.
Did you really?
It is one of the strangest 2 hours of my life. It is. So it's
on a weird platform.
It's on Roku.
Too. It's like fucking.
So I mean, if you ever want to watch it, I've got 115 Roku sticks for some reason at the house.
Oh shit! I'm on the wrong board.
That's okay.
What is that noise? Is that the Wilhelm scream?
It's close. But so what really bums me out about all of that is the whole time, Joe, I could have hit this, and I haven't.
Oh my god!
I'm really upset. I'm
Man.
really
yourself.
upset.
Yeah.
We can run back through it.
Manually added it.
God damn it!
Edit
What's
and post.
good, motherfucker? So,
You need little labels on there.
Well, it's not on here. It's on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, there it is.
Get a Stream Deck, bro.
Yeah.
Watched a lot. We came home, literally unloaded the car. And I don't know about you guys, but when you work a show and you meticulously pack everything on the way there and the way out, you're like, put it in a box, let's go.
Yeah.
So there's 3 or 4 totes, and I'm like, then I was starting to feel bad. And I took a test Tuesday, and it was negative. Wednesday, I got significantly worse. I took a test on Thursday, and I popped positive. I was just lethargic. Mostly, I had my energy was completely zapped.
I might have COVID.
I was congested, but it was like a dry congestion. And I had a cough. And that was just, dude, I was a napping motherfucker, and I don't nap. But I'm like, all right, I'm about to take these 2 hours. So, I watched a lot of shit. I played a lot of video games, but the Weird Al movie, it's on Roku.
Yeah. You have 150 Roku sticks.
It is the strangest thing I've ever seen, because I went into it thinking it was going to be some like a funny, a laughed up version of reality.
Yeah.
It is not. It's just batshit crazy. And Daniel Radcliffe is going for a goddamn Academy Award with these. I mean, he's acting.
Capital A.
Like, I won't give it. Well, I guess I'm going to give it away.
Is this
spoilers?
Like
in
Freddy got fingered?
Dude. So Weird Al's in the movie. He plays like the big time Hollywood, not the big time music producer. Yeah. But the plot involves basically them talking about the Yankovic bump, where if he records a parody of your music, the original record normally increases sales by 50% that week or something. So Evan Rachel Wood? Is she the one that was involved with Manson? That girl.
Maybe. I'm not good with names.
Well, that it's that girl. She's playing Madonna, and she sees this on the TV, and she's like, oh. So basically, they make it out where she becomes a love interest of Weird Al, and then Pablo Escobar gets involved.
What? Is this for real?
No,
that's what he's saying. He thought it was going to be
and I'm like Googling shit. I'm like, wait a minute.
So it's just bullshit.
It's
a fictional movie.
It's like Walk Hard.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know
that's what it was going to be, like that Howard Stern movie where it was
or something of that nature. Yeah, it is. Maybe that's why it's on the Roku channel. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like you can watch Ray and then watch Weird Al Yankovic back to back.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So Atlanta.
You don't know what to make of that show.
It's over. No, and I'm even more confused now.
But every week he says it. Like, Atlanta,
I think it's good.
I don't know what to make of that show. It's just everywhere.
It is. So
I think it's going somewhere. I'm not sure.
I think I watched a couple other episodes that I didn't take notes on, but I had 3 more to finish, and it's done. Okay. The show's over, in this form at least. So the first episode I watched, the entire episode is a documentary about the man who created the Goofy movie and how it is the blackest movie that's ever made.
The cartoon?
Yes. It's
the
entire
with
episode of this show is a documentary about the man who made the Goofy movie and how it was the blackest movie ever made. And the entire thing is fucking made up. But I had to check.
Just like the Weird Al movie.
It gives it away at the very end. It's like, okay, this is obviously bullshit. But, oh my God, it is so well done. They've got these, his childhood friend and all this. And, it's insane.
I saw this meme recently of Goofy walking Pluto. Mm-hmm. And it was like
that was a topic in that.
Yeah, so I think that's where it comes from. Yeah. It was like one talks, one doesn't. Never let them silence you. And I was like,
and the other one was like, he was talking to the writers. He's like, why would Goofy let Mickey, this cracker ass mouse, keep his someone of the same race on a leash,
species,
or whatever. It's so strange. The next episode. The entire episode. So Paperboy is the rapper in this, right? It's the guy.
There was a rapper named Paperboy from DC in like the 90s.
Well, I guess they didn't realize that when they wrote this, or maybe it's an homage. Yeah. But it's the guy, the black guy from the what's that Marvel movie, The Eventuals or The Essentials?
Oh, the Eternals.
Yeah, the black guy from that.
He's the Eventuals.
The essential Eventuals.
When you have parody,
like time's running out. Don't worry. The Eventuals
they'll be here sooner or later.
Turn up sooner or later.
They'll be here sooner or later.
Dude, so many good ideas this episode, bro.
Make a comic book called The Eventuals.
Yes.
They only they're the criminals robbing a bank. The Eventuals come in and protect the last bag.
Eventually get here.
All right. I remember. So the next episode ties into an earlier episode that I just remembered the notes. Do you know what the Crank Dat dance is?
That's the Soldier Boy.
Tell him it is.
Yeah.
So the plot of this episode that was before the Goofy doc was. Got it. Sorry. I think this is the same episode. Remember somebody wrote in and asked us about making out in a van for some sneakers?
Yeah.
I saw that fucking episode.
Made more sense, maybe.
I mean, honestly, that question based on the vibe of the show, I'm like, I can see that happening.
right.
So,
Yes.
So the two things that are going on in this, there's a crank dat killer. Someone's killing people who had a crank dat video on the, like,
I like the sound of it.
like Paperboy calls up Soldier Boy and he's like, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I advise you do the same. And he's like, hey, make sure you pack that harp up. You know, he's like moving to get away from this. And Paperboy had this video like on some dude's channel, like it's before he was a big time rapper. It's them wearing long white tees in front of like a fucking a Lincoln with rims on it or something, and they're doing the dance, but it only had like 75 views. But then all of a sudden somebody puts a skull emoji on it. So dude's sneaking around like he's at a mall and he has on a plain baseball cap and sunglasses, and he goes up and he orders a pretzel and goes like, aren't you Paperboy? I'm like, how'd you know? Why wouldn't I know? Because I'm trying to blend in. And she says, you mean with the hat with no logo and sunglasses? That's Chris Evans right over there. Because you know that's a Marvel disguise, right?
Yeah,
right.
And she says, where the hell you even get a hat with no logo?
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
So that's happening. And then then the whole thing with this, they're trying to get these sneakers, and they're basically making a statement that it's impossible to get shoes without knowing somebody. And they're like, oh, I heard about this dude, they'll have them. And it's some made up sneaker they were after. And the dude's like, all right, y'all gonna kiss each other? I'm gonna watch. And I don't need. He's like, I got plenty of money. I don't need any money. And they negotiate from 3 minutes down to like 8 seconds or something.
Oh my God, 3 minutes.
And then while they're kissing, there ends up being like a shootout in the mall over this whole crank dat murder thing. Dude gets a stray in the head. And
in the head
while they're kissing, and they look up and like, damn. And they take the shoes and leave.
Good
so
grief.
Paperboy's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. So I guess he either owns a farm. He was on a farm, like working in a farm. And it was like there was not a lot of dialogue in it because it's just him by himself in the fucking woods. He's trying to get this tractor started. He's growing some weed in a little shed.
Of course.
There's some animals broken in. He has this really weird interaction with a redneck dude at like the hardware store. You're taking pictures of the poop. What kind of poop? Anyways, long story short, dude ends up beating a wild hog to death with a cast iron skillet.
Wow.
I don't know how else to explain the episode. It's well worth a watch.
I understand now why you say you don't know.
What to make of it.
What to make of the show, because it is everywhere.
So,
real quick side note. I remember I had a guy, a friend of mine from New York, riding around with me, and I was showing him around, and we're driving down Emerson Avenue, and there's these guys on the corner, and every single one of them is wearing Air Force Ones, blue jeans, white T-shirt, every single one of them, and it's like every corner looks almost identical, you know? And he's like, why does everybody wear the same shit here? And I was like, well, describe one to the cops. Mm-hmm. And he was like, got it.
Perfect.
It's like somebody's at a Transformers. What did he look like? He had on a black T-shirt with camouflage cargo shorts
and a patchy beard.
Yeah, and a patchy beard going bald. How tall was he? Somewhere between 5'6" and 6'5".
And he had a T-shirt that had some sort of ironic statement about G1 on it.
Yes.
Like it was Rodimus, and it said "Not my prime."
Yes, and on the back it said. On the back it said "Truck, not monkey," but it was all spelled like clever, but not that clever. So the finale of this show, the last episode, there's what is the name?
I won't know.
No, I'm just in I had to keep this straight. There's Paperboy. There's Earn, who is Childish Gambino.
Okay.
And his girl, who is Domino from...
Right.
Yeah, and then Darius is their other guy. And he's like a child of the earth a little bit. Especially, I mean, they obviously are all smoking weed all the time, but he's like the hippie of the group. And by the end of the show, you're not sure if this whole show happened or if it was him tripping in a sensory deprivation tank. Because
that makes more sense.
There's like 7, like he wakes up like, it's almost like, what's the movie? Leonardo DiCaprio or Inception, the dream movie.
Yeah.
It's almost like he keeps waking up over and over in these dreams.
Interesting.
And, you know, you're kind of lost. Like, am I awake? By the end of it, you're like, what's happening? So the show's over. It's probably 40 episodes total. There's it's 4 seasons of 10
that's
episodes.
fair. That's fair.
And they range.
What would you grade
That's
it
crazy.
overall?
It lasts that long.
What I grade overall? 9.5.
Wow.
It's probably one of my all-time favorite TV
No
shows.
shit.
Yeah. Cool. It's concise. I would say the first 2 seasons are pretty much about Paperboy becoming
Well,
a
don't
rapper.
spoil it. I might check
No,
it.
well, no. I'm just going to give you the arcs. Basically, that the 3rd season they go to Japan. Are they in Japan?
Japan.
No. Are they in Europe? No, they're in Europe because they're in Amsterdam. And that kind of goes off the rails there. Some of the they start telling side stories, and like the main characters aren't even in on some of the episodes. And then the 4th season pretty much is that, but they're back in Atlanta dealing with some, and there's some interpersonal stuff there also.
Nice.
But well worth a watch. It's one of my favorite projects, and I give at the time, FX, Fox that became Disney. I give them some credit because they pretty much, from what I've seen by the content, said, here's how much time you have, here's your budget, go make this.
Good.
I mean, some episodes,
out of the way.
And some episodes are short. They're like maybe like a 30-minute, and some of them are like an hour and some minutes. And
let creators create.
And that's exactly what they did there. It's funny because that Goofy episode, they basically just talk shit about Disney.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they mention all this stuff by name. I'm like, it's pretty cool you're able to do that, but it's also like the biggest fanboy
nod and a wink.
Yeah. It's like bad trailer reviews. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk. Okay, I watched Sonic 2.
Oh,
So did
I didn't even
Cody.
know it came out.
I think that's why I ended up watching it, because he mentioned it. So Charlie wanted to watch
It was his
it.
airplane flight movie.
Oh, I like Sonic 1.
I haven't seen it.
I thought it was like one of the best video game adaptation movie ever.
I will tell you, Charlie enjoyed it.
Isn't
has Tails in it, right?
It's got Tails. It's got Knuckles.
Knuckles McGee. Am I
And
right?
then Idris Elba voices Knuckles.
Yeah.
That's
Did you
cool.
like the first one?
It was fine.
I like the first one.
I mean, it's the jokes are just like so corny. I mean,
That's supposed to be. I think.
but that's what me and Kelly was like. Look, this is because we kept looking at each other like,
I need a Sonic and Tails.
what the fuck?
For my video game shelf. It's coming along so nicely.
But the thing I did want to mention is there aren't any real guns in this movie. It's all painted up Nerf shit.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
No, I'm okay with it too. But I noticed.
Yeah.
I guess they were like maybe something. To
It
do
would
with
seem
the
weird if Dr. Robotnik had like a Colt.
Yeah, if he had a revolver on his hip.
Pulled a banger out on you.
So I
run this bitch.
for my birthday, Mason got me
I'm gonna lock you up and put you in a robot. Some weird shit.
Yeah, it is.
Not
It's
again.
very weird.
Wild. I'm gonna lock you up and put you in a robot if you don't behave. Yes, Papa. Damn it, you made me forget. Oh yeah. So as you know, I only played a couple video games.
Cyberpunk.
You might have mentioned Cyberpunk, Ghost of Tsushima. I love that game as well. I played the Star Wars, the last one that came out about the kid.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order.
Sure. I think that was it. Enjoyed that. Different mechanics, different stuff. And keep in mind, I haven't really played video games since like the PS.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
back in
a
the
lot
day.
year. It's been 10
Right.
years probably since I started playing this. So Mason got me Far Cry 6.
Oh, nice.
It's got Chicken Man is a bad guy. It's John Carlo. I don't know.
I don't know what any of these references
Okay,
mean.
well, it's the Chicken Man from Breaking Bad. I guess I should have said that.
Juan
Carlo Esposito, or however you say
Star
it.
Wars. The Star Wars.
Yeah, so he's like the big baddie in this game, and I guess
He's a hell of an actor.
he
I forgot
is.
this.
He does a good job in this. So the plot of the movie is you're in Cuba, but they don't call it Cuba, and you're a freedom fighter, and this guy's like they made some crazy tobacco that's supposed to fight cancer with some, but it's toxic and it's a mess.
That's what we call irony.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's
cinematic, story driven. Yeah.
It's open world.
Yep.
I can run up a hill if I want to. I don't. So
Isn't there like a Tom Holland movie? Didn't he do Far Cry? Or did he
did it in
he did
Uncharted.
Uncharted. They're basically
right, and that's what I've come to realize, and I think I mentioned it. It's murder and stealing, and it's what these games all are. I'm going to kill you, take your shit, and
I've
either
been
go,
in the mood to play a first-person shooter recently. Like
First-person shooter, huh?
Like I don't care which one. I've
Wow.
just been in the mood to play that type of game recently.
It's a good stress relief for me.
Yeah. Like it could be Halo. It could be World War II. It could be Modern Warfare. I don't care. I've just been in the mood to play one.
That's
recently.
strange because it
Pop some
doesn't.
caps.
doesn't seem like something you'd be into.
Yeah, well, I played a lot of like the Call of Duties, like like in
Dark Forces.
and I played Dark Forces, yeah, Doom,
Play the new Doom. The new Doom is great.
Is it?
Yeah.
And
it's not new now.
and it's a first person, like same type of. Okay, good.
And it's fast paced. It's good. I mean, it's good.
That's I'm gonna buy it today.
I did go see Black Panther.
And out of 10,
7.5.
really?
Ish.
I gave it an 8.5.
Yeah. It was.
Wow, you rated something higher.
Yeah.
once. Damn.
I loved it.
And the thing is that
that is. Oh yeah, we'll get there.
I probably have an asterisk next to that because it's just such a challenging thing to tackle, man. And I give them credit. I thought they did a great job with what they had to work around. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, had they started filming that at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, actually, he got the script. That's as far as it got. And he knew. It's like it gives me chills thinking about it, but like he knew.
Yeah.
And he was like,
that one clip fucks me up.
They gave him the script, and he was like, cool. I'm going to read this as soon as I get home. Is what he told the director. I forget the dude's name.
And he never went home.
No,
or did he?
Oh, and the clip where he wasn't getting interviewed on the red carpet or whatever, and someone was, what about Black Panther 2? He's like, I don't know, I'm dead. And he said, no, really? No, I'm dead. He was like smiling the whole time. And then like in retrospect, oh, not the character.
Yeah.
That shit gives me like fucking feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it, man.
I thought the opening with the Marvel almost got me.
Yep. That was well done.
It was no music.
The silent bit at the end.
The thing with the spoilers in 99.
Yeah, spoilers 99.
The thing with the kid was that I didn't need that. I don't think the story needed that.
It did, but it didn't bother me. I mean, it feels like
Secret
just something.
Child.
So it's kind of like Leia flying to me, like in episode 8.
Yeah.
Like
that might be the most unforgivable part of Star Wars to me, if I'm being honest.
So here's where I don't like that either. I think it's goofy. Yeah. But if my options are, look, if the future Bobby comes to me and is like, look, this is what they chose here. Would you rather never see Leia use the Force, or she gets to do this? I would choose that.
That's fair.
So that's how I feel about this. It's like, does it really make sense? And is it believable, the Secret Son and all that? No. But given the circumstances, do I want his bloodline to continue or not in this fictional universe?
Right.
I do.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
My issues with it were, it's long. Like in the second act in particular, where you start going into the secret underwater world, and like it's just so bloody slow, and it's like that. And then my biggest issue with it is spoilers, but like there's 2 big battle sequences. One big battle is in the middle, and it's fucking great, and the end battle is cool, but it's small. And it's like on this little boat, and it's like, it's not a little boat to be fair, but it's like on this boat. And they just seemed like
they should have swapped.
They should have swapped. You know what I mean? Like the little battle should have been in the middle, and then the big battle with the city and everything should have been at the end for like a big like hurrah. Like
but from a storytelling point of view, it made sense because they were trying to draw them out.
100%. And also the key to all of it is. Namor says at one point, he's like, I have more soldiers than you have blades of grass. So if he really came full steam,
it'd have been over.
It would have been over. So the fact that they were able to lure him out with just a small group actually levels the playing ground for Wakanda. So it makes sense. It's just as a movie experience, I'm like, oh, I guess this is going to be it. It's like these 10 guys on a boat.
So the way that they put the what's her name? The Iron Man,
Riri.
Riri is. I was fine with that.
Yeah, it's fine.
To introduce her as a character.
Yeah, I was fine with that. Didn't bother me.
That's what we can't video.
Yeah,
our podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought it was focused. It was a focused story. There was no yucks.
Does this save the Space War or whatever for you?
No.
It doesn't.
But not at all.
It's in a vacuum
because it almost ignores Phase 4.
Okay, which is good.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
because it would have had too much work to do.
Yes. But how does it make you feel about everything overall? Does it bring it up or just separate?
No,
completely separate.
Completely separate.
Cool.
But like, I forget what I was gonna say. There's no yucks throughout. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's too serious of a stuff to like make.
Yes,
It would have been very disrespectful, I think.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's more serious than most Marvel movies. Like I put it in that same pocket as like Civil War, Winter Soldier, Thor 2, Infinity War. Like it has that kind of vibe. I'll be honest, a lot of it felt very Phase 2 to me. Like it felt like
the good stuff.
There was gravitas and there was tension
built.
Yes, like
there was weight to what they were doing.
Intimate moments between characters, and characters change their views and how they see the world, and like it's just like this. Like, there you are, Peter. You know what I mean? Like,
can we have more of this, please?
Yeah, like I loved it.
I
loved it.
Do you foresee us having anything near this kind of theater in the upcoming movies?
I have no hope for anything else. Not because it's not good, but just like one thing is, and now it's an anomaly.
Yeah.
You know?
Unfortunately,
it used to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they could take this and use this to course correct, it would be good direction.
Well, I mean, all this will get tied in with everything. I mean, the Namor obviously was a big reveal, and he says that he's a mutant.
But this is the last one.
He says that he's a mutant. The last Black Panther movie?
No, the last of Phase 4.
Okay.
So there is no like Phase 4 is now officially, it's a mess. It's all over the place. The only like follow through is really on the Scarlet Witch multiverse side of things, and it's not done effectively. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's just move on.
Yeah, just see what's next, you know? Maybe they'll pull something out. The Chappelle stuff you mentioned we're going to talk about in the notes, so I'll keep that. And the last thing, probably my favorite fucking thing over the past couple weeks is Andor.
Yeah,
is it over yet?
No, one more.
Is it one more? So, you know, this...
You could probably start now. Did you watch Tales of the Jedi?
No, I am watching Alone a lot.
No, that's
okay.
Yeah, I got that. I got Endor and I got Bake Off.
He'll get to it eventually.
I got like 3 things to fucking follow up.
So, you know,
the person actually asked about it. I didn't
Andor?
even. Yeah.
The speech that Luthen gives there, that monologue at the end of the episode, it was 2 weeks. I don't know how much you guys talked about it last week.
So is the last episode coming up this week?
Yeah. Well,
tomorrow,
for
like
us, it'll
no next Wednesday.
So
next Wednesday is the very last episode.
The day before Thanksgiving is the last episode.
Yeah.
This last episode, I will say good, but I feel like a lot happened. Like, I feel like I need to watch this episode again because I feel like the pacing of the show has been kind of like just a slow.
And now they're like wrap it up.
Yeah, and like I feel like
somebody's over there with a wrap it up sign.
Like even the death of his mother.
Yeah, Marva.
I'm like, why is this kind of brushed over the way it is? Like, why wasn't this a moment?
Yeah,
it just seems weird to me.
It is, and the actress didn't pass away during the
I don't know. It's
almost
looking,
like that, though. It's
exactly.
almost like,
it's like she wasn't available anymore. So they were like Duke went into a coma.
Yeah. The role of Bobby Skullplace will now be played by Robert D.
Oh, we won. The Cobra spores have evaporated, and Duke came out of his coma.
Yep, that's exactly how it was. You know, I don't know exactly what Bix is hearing, but it kind of haunts me already. The torture.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the guy is
That's
like...
another thing where I'm like, I need to know a little bit more about this. This episode was weird for me. I need to watch it again.
Like that they're not telling me... So basically, Joe, they set her up for this... It's a interrogation, and the guy, he's very chipper, and he's like, "Hey, so what we've been doing is we have some race, and they make this very interesting noise when they scream, when they die, especially the children. So what we've done is we've taken that audio and we've looped it and tweaked a couple things, and we're gonna let you listen to it for the next however many hours." And it's just immediately her face, and shout out to the actress because she fucking kills it with the emotion on her face. It just goes to this terror and make it stop, and they've got her strapped in, and what is they strap her in this chair, and they say something like, "Oh, don't worry, the straps are to protect yourself, not us." It's just there's so many little things about this show that are so fucking great.
You get to hear two tubes speak.
Oh,
yes, and they call him Tubes.
And they call him Tubes.
Wow,
and it's fucking perfect.
Okay,
dude.
So they didn't ruin it because sometimes a silent character when they speak it fucks it up.
Like if it's like Misa want to take that. Like, oh hell!
No. What if it had been?
What if
Misa? So in that whole scene with him pulling the gun on
Yeah.
and the dynamic, and as soon as they gave up the fucking dude that's doing the suicide run, or, well, he's gonna do the suicide run, and when dude says that he'll do it now, I'm doing a horrible job.
Saul
Guerrero says, yeah, I'll do it now, and he's like, let's not, because I'm gonna just basically sacrifice these guys not to give them my and all that clever shit. And I think that Mothra, well, we find out that's her sister, the other young lady, the blonde-headed lady. Forgive me for not knowing anyone's names. I think that she put the bug in the daughter's ear about the arranged marriage to help push everything forward with that gangster guy from.
That's an interesting take.
And they have that great conversation.
They
have that conversation that's all in code. And
Oh,
it's so good, man.
But that the two-tube sequence, like basically the one guy says to Saul, he says, "Well, you've got some leaks on your side." And he's like, "Who?" And he's like, "Two tubes." Or he's like, "Tubes." And Tubes is like fucking liar. I've been loyal to, and I know that Two Tubes is in Rogue One.
Yes.
But I was like, oh fuck. I was like, no, not Two Tubes. I was like, don't kill him. He didn't have anything to do with this. It's all a misunderstanding. But that's how tight that fucking show had me. Yeah, dude, I hope we get Two Tubes figures. Like, please. God damn it, man.
It's gotta be.
But we won't. They'll be like, and here's a Mandalorian that you can briefly see in the back corner of the hall of such and such. So I have a lot on my list as well.
Hell yeah.
So one thing I realized this week, I don't like crude sexual talk.
Huh?
Yeah. I know it sounds weird.
That's all I do.
I'm okay with sexual talk, and I'm okay with it getting detailed and everything. It's when the language about it gets crude, I don't like it. So, for instance, I heard someone refer to a woman's ass this past week as a shit cutter.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm turned off by this more than you could possibly imagine. Or even
hang on, was it in a context such as, man, look at the shit cutter on that girl?
Yes.
That's gross.
Yeah, agreed. And I heard like even the phrase like shit out a baby. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that sort of talk about it. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm not like filth, but I find it a turnoff. I just noticed that about myself.
So on that, kind of on that topic, I've gotten where like I don't want to see a sex scene in a movie. It does. I don't need it. It does nothing for me. Like the way you explain that Batman scenario.
You know what happened.
I don't need to know who was on top. I just y'all did that, and now it's part of your story.
Right.
I don't need to see the fake naked gyrations that these people do. Leave it out. I mean, and I'm not saying that as a prude.
Yeah.
But just like it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary and out of place most of the time.
Yeah, like you don't have to
most of the time.
Most of the time.
Sometimes it's
anyway.
Unless the sex itself tells a story.
I watched a bunch of baseball movies because Selena wanted to watch them. So
Tom Hanks.
Let's see how many baseball movies
we watched 2.
Let's see how many baseball movies me and Joe can name.
Angels in Outfield.
We did not watch that one.
If they build it,
that's Angels in
Field
Outfield.
No,
Field of Dreams. That's right.
That's different, motherfucker.
You're right. I'm sorry. No, it was not that one.
Sandlot.
Yes,
I love Sandlot.
So let me talk about this. I don't know if a kid says it I should have quoted it. I don't know if a kid says this in the movie or if Selena says it. But when you see the beast, which is like the mastiff, and it's like super huge and everything, because you're supposed to be seeing it like through the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
Either a kid says it in the movie or Selena said it. But the quote is, "I know where to put that. Right in my nightmares." I don't know. I should have made a note as to who said it.
Which one is?
Hang on, we got to finish naming baseball.
Which one is no crying in baseball? I don't remember the name. League of Their Own.
So that's the other one. So we watched that one.
And Major Leagues with Charlie Sheen.
So we haven't got there. It's on the list.
But like those are the baseball movies.
There's a Chadwick Boseman baseball movie about Jackie Robinson.
Oh yeah,
42.
Yeah. I'm down to watch it, dude. We're loving it. We're loving the baseball. We're a big baseball family now, Joe.
Just Bobby. And I love this for you.
Yeah.
I really do. Don't put too many eggs in this basket. Don't get your heart broken again like the Transformers thing.
For Selena,
yeah. Like if she gets over it at some point, like I don't want you to like feel super bummed.
Yeah.
Not that she will. I'm not trying to shit on your parade.
Yeah. No,
I just don't want to see you
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I should move
shit on your parade, not
cautiously,
rain.
but I do constantly. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just the way it
I do
speaks.
constantly tell her though, like, look, if you don't want to do this, just let me know, and like you're gonna have to finish this season because you said you want to do it and you signed up for it. You got to fulfill your obligation, but we'll cut it. We'll cut it if you don't want to do it because I never want her to feel like it has to. I want it always to be a want to. So League of Their Own, one, of course, no crying in baseball is a classic line in that, but one, and I looked at Selena when, but the other,
you said that to her when you're in public.
That's what I should have said instead of what I fucking said. Get on your fucking feet. God damn it, I was fucking furious.
The other parents might have understood a little more if you just like,
yeah. Dude, I can still feel their eyes on me,
burning a hole in you.
Get on your fucking feet. God damn it, I'm awful. Anyway,
anytime Bobby falls down.
So a line in that movie made me laugh my ass off. That like I probably saw it when I was a kid, A League of Their Own. That I don't think you don't find the same shit funny. But I fucking couldn't get myself together. So Gina Davis is talking about her husband or whatever. He's away at war, right? Which is why they have to do the league in the first place.
Yeah.
And she's always talking about how smart he is and clever and blah, blah, blah. Well, she's finally caught looking at a picture of him with Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks says, "Is that your husband?" And she says, "Yeah." And she hands him the picture and he looks at it and he goes, "Wow, smart and handsome. There's so few of us." Dude, I couldn't get right.
That's funny.
That's pretty good.
I watched the ILM doc on your recommendation on
Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, on Disney Plus.
Okay,
it's like a 6-part series on the making of Industrial Light and Magic and everything. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like I've watched so many docs on the subject that I kind of feel like what do you got?
A little numb to it.
What am I going to learn from this? I like it was like they have the room and the space with the series to like really get into the minutia of things and like. It was kind of like heartbreaking when they get into like going fully digital and they basically like it ruined it. Like it didn't ruin the company. Company's obviously super successful, but they had kind of created this environment of like mad scientists that were like working in this very creative space and wore flip-flops to work and kind of like just like pushed each other every day to like get better and better and better. And then it goes from that in an instant to everybody sitting in cubicles and it like fucking ruined the whole vibe.
The vibe, yeah.
It was heartbreaking to watch. Like something like the older heads, like man, like that era, there was something about it. Like they were like, it was like you could tell they're all super still connected to it, and it was like this super important part of their lives and everything. Like it was like I felt so bad for them.
Well, and in a lot of it, like you think about the loss. So full circle. I don't know. Apparently, everything in Andor's is practical. They're not using They're not using. Well, they may be using the volume in some capacity, but like those fisherman dudes,
right?
That's people in suits,
right?
That's what I don't understand. Why it has to be
one or the other?
Or.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
to be fair, it never really has. Like even like during the prequel era where it went super digital, there was always practical effects in there.
Because it's time and place for everything, right? Like that's just some things you can't do with digital.
But what I'm saying is,
be as good as practical.
Unlike mini movies, including some the Avengers Endgame and stuff like that, that's almost all green screen, right? And so what I'm getting to is the art of building sets. Like these sets were actually built for Andor, right? And look, the hotel and all. I mean, I'm sure that's
exactly, but that's
one set, and they can shoot it from 12 angles. Yeah, it's a tool. So, just from a craftsman standpoint, there's a generation of people that have not learned how to do that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That because they were in cubicles.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, logistically, you would understand why certain sets
of course. Some things you can't do.
They both have this place. And, we talk about it. A lot of times when new movies come out, when they have good, like horror movies, especially good practical effects. We talk about it because it's special.
Well, and it's part of a rollout too now in marketing. With I remember episode 7, it was like back to practical effects, guys. Practical effects. I watched this movie. I'm like, oh, this shit's digital. Like these fucking like nobody built this X-wing.
Yeah,
like what I mean. Yeah. I watched the Marvel Werewolf show or movie. Yeah. It's a movie, I guess, or one.
Yeah, it's just one episode.
Or one episode's like an hour long or whatever. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's got good reviews.
You were saying you didn't have hopes.
I didn't have any interest really, but it's campy. It's kind of campy in all the right ways though. Like you're watching an old horror movie,
like Wolfman.
Yeah, Man Thing is in it. Super charming. like super charming, super.
Man things are not charming.
Yeah, so, it's fair enough, but yours less so than mine. But like then and then
mine looks more like man thing though.
True, the snout bit. But he kind of has like Chewbacca vibes or Groot vibes in it. Like I recommend it. I don't recommend Marvel shit that often, but I do. I enjoyed it. It's not great. It's just like it's good fun, and it's like in the right spirit. I watched a documentary on HBO Max about January 6th.
Okay.
And I think it is of value to watch because, like, for me anyway, it takes all of the kind of events, like in my head, right? There's like, okay, there's 2 Trump speeches.
Okay.
There's this migration of people from one space to another space. There's the Capitol Police trying to hold it off. There's the breaching. There's the guy in the fucking horn hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The barbarian or the shaman or whatever they called him. And then there's the one lady that got shot and killed. And then there's the one cop that like tried to stand everybody off. There's a point where like the state police from Virginia get there and actually like shut everything down properly. But like making sense of all of it in a timeline and how you get from one point to the next, I could never really make the connections between them. And this does a really fantastic job
Like
of just
outlining,
showing you
Yeah.
how these things happened. Like, in a very linear sense, you know, and they even stop. They're like, you know, like the screen will go black and it'll be like 1:15 p.m. You know, and then it'll come back and get, you know, bam, bam, and kind of continue with it. But it was a value to me because now I feel like I understand the whole situation.
This is like a real documentary.
Yeah.
Like, just document what happened.
Correct. And I didn't know like a whole bunch of cops killed themselves after it.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff that happened.
Like weird shit. And here's another thing that I found interesting. It's on HBO Max if anyone wants to watch it. One of the cops, the Capitol Police, because I mean these guys, I imagine that they're, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't judge, but I imagine that their career has been relatively quiet. And to have this be like their first, some of these guys have been there for like 10, 15, 20 years or whatever, like you have one significant incident and it's this is fucking amazing to me. But like this one cop gets kind of pulled away and separated from the team. And he finds himself in the middle of the mob, and they're just beating the dog shit out of this dude, right? And he says he hears them like,
It makes no sense.
they say he hears them like they're like, get his gun, get his gun, get his gun, and everything he's trying to do is just protect his weapon, right? He says like he didn't know what to do, so he just starts talking about his kids. Like he's like, I have 2 sons. I have no idea. He might have 2 daughters. For the fuck I know. He's like, the older one's name is Kyle. Kyle, he plays football. He's
White Claw.
He's got a hell of an arm. He had A's and B's on his ass. Like just like random facts about his children, and they just stop. Like eventually, they just all stopped and like let him go. He's like, I didn't know what to do. I just tried to appeal to humanity, and it worked. And but that was like an amazing little story in the midst of all of it. But yeah, it's interesting. So after I watched that, of course it was like, here's some other things you might want to watch. So I watched, I forget what it's called. I think it's called like First Year or Biden's First Year or whatever it is, but it's all about Biden's first year of presidency. Right. And it's super biased. Like it's all about like, just like, he was handed a bad deal, wasn't he? Like he just can't get. And so all of that shit I sort of dismissed. Like that,
I have no idea what's going on with politics right now. I know like vaguely that he's the president, but like in the last several years, I've really lost track of who's the president and what they're doing.
So like the whole like Afghanistan thing happened during his first year. The vaccinations happened during his first year. Like there's a lot. Like one thing I found interesting about it was he was like this one guy I guess worked as a liaison in some capacity for him, but he was like, we didn't put a lot of energy into the vaccine because the vaccine initially seemed like something that everybody was on board for. Like the left wanted it because they were believing the science, and the right wanted it because it was Trump's baby. Like we wouldn't have had it without him. Like it's like one of his major contributions to the presidency. And they were like, but then as soon as Biden took office, they both fucking flipped. He was like, and like fucking all the trolls were like, not, you're not putting the chips in my arm, you know, and you know, and the left were like, you know, like, I'm saying no to this vaccine. As a matter of fact, I'm saying no to all the vaccines because I'm going all natural and I'm only eating horsehair.
Horsehair,
you know, like or whatever. So it was just interesting to hear his perspective. This dude seemed like a fairly level-headed dude without a, like, you know, so like I was like, but it was like kind of like what do they call it when you like shore up your own beliefs or whatever, like
self-assurance,
confirmation for me.
Oh,
I was like,
confirmation
I was like, I feel the same way, sir. But anyway, it was interesting hearing some of the stuff, like how the you know, like how the Afghanistan shit got so botched. You know, if you can separate yourself from just all of the excuses, of,
I was going to put him,
you know, all that shit. But you could like, oh, okay, like I see how this happened. You know, like it's like, you know, like I'm trying to think of like, all right, so there's a guy inside of a school, right? And he's, you know, God forbid, and he's an armed mass shooting type of guy. So you think about the guy, the gun, the kids, right? And after you fix that situation, you're like, good. But you didn't think about the bomb that he may have left inside the school. You know what I mean? It was kind of like one of those things. It was like, I'm like in my head, I'm like, I was like, this is poor planning, and somebody should have been ahead of this. But I see how tunnel vision led to this.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it was interesting.
On the same note, didn't Trump just announce he's running for president?
Mm-hmm. He did.
I don't think he's got a good chance, though.
I feel like he's going to get voted in again just for the meme of it, because America's
I have a feeling if he doesn't get the Republican nomination, he's going to run independent, and then it's going to be all fucked up.
Yeah. See, the thing is
I want things. I don't want to watch the world burn necessarily, but I want to see things fucked up because that's the only way to change things and maybe go forward in a different direction. Because like the same course, it's going to stay the same. It's really hard to change shit.
Well, remember
right?
the second part of that quote is, "How did you catch the thief? We burned down the forest."
Yeah. I watched Andor. We talked about that already. But the one thing I did want to talk about, one thing that felt very Star Wars to me, because that's been that criticism that we heard on this show, is like something about it doesn't feel quite like Star Wars to me, has kind of plagued me a bit. But one thing that did feel like Star Wars to me is the mirroring of, or I shouldn't say, because I think there's like some famous Star Wars quote that Star Wars doesn't mirror itself, it rhymes. Or
it rhymes.
Yeah.
It's like, it rhymes.
Yeah, stupid.
Jar Jar rhymes with
car. but at any rate, the mother issues between Andor and his quote unquote mother versus the security guy and his mother and all that. I was like, man, that's cool dynamic.
It is. There's a lot of stuff like, you know, like the prison episodes was always a flip between them working in the room to this luxurious party on Coruscant. Yeah. And they've done a great job with the direction of this, man.
I watched a movie about, it was an HBO documentary about meth movie, like this meth family.
Is this still a thing?
Like,
huh?
I said it's meth.
So it's an older documentary.
Plus and minuses, meth, not math.
Yeah. So
same difference.
Meth.
I think a lot of it has been shut down.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure still people are still doing it, but like it's not the same.
Long story short, it's tragic. It's this white trash family, and they're going through the ringer. It sucks. My heart goes out to them. Like it's just they're all trapped.
What
in this
state are they in? You know,
I can't
Alabama,
remember.
Probably.
I can't remember, but it's fucked up. I say all that to say this. One thing that I couldn't help but laugh at was like the mother, the matriarch of this family, and they're all strung out on meth. Mm-hmm. At like 3/4 of the way into the movie, like while she's there, her phone rings and she's got like a ringtone on her phone, and it's I'm all about that bass. No, dude, and I started laughing so fucking hard. Just like, you know, here's this woman, she's got like 2 teeth in her head. You know, she's like her face looks like an old worn out purse. You know, like you know, she's like strung out. She's got fucking track marks all over her, and is like, and she's just sitting there in this like recliner with cigarette stains in it, and like off in the background is I'm all about that. It's just such an interesting world we live in sometimes.
Humans are
the human what do they call it? The
condition.
All right, the last documentary I watched.
Did you watch some docs?
I watched a lot of docs this week, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Was about this bullying incident. This wasn't. It's not really worth watching. It was only but it was only an hour long. So this guy was in a class, and they beat the shit. Like there was 4 Richards in this class. So there was Richie, Rich, Richard,
And Dick.
And Dick ended up becoming the whipping boy of this class. And eventually it went too far. They took this boy outside and beat the fucking brakes off this kid. The whole class, 4th grade. I'm talking about jumping on him, spitting on him, kicking him, punching him, etc. This guy had not the victim, but one of the victimizers had kind of suppressed the memory. He was watching some movie and there was some like jumping sequence and it fucking triggered his memory. So he like reaches back out to the kid. The kid's very like cautious about,
No doubt. And is that who's making this documentary? One of the guys who was involved in it?
Yeah. And then he contacts like all these people that were in the class and,
holy shit,
and like gets them to like speak about the incident and stuff, and like some of them can't remember it, the teacher doesn't remember it, like some are like, oh fuck yeah man, like he's like, I live with it every day, like I think about it every day. It's just an interesting
wow
your
mind works.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was it.
That's interesting.
Lastly, the reason why I've been watching all these documentaries is because I am working on this drawing that's going up for a pre-order tomorrow for blankets for the holidays of Soundwave and the tapes.
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes in there.
It's a lot of dudes in there. And the reason...
Hang on, this will come out on Thanksgiving, won't it?
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And the reason why is because it was one of my first ones. It was actually my second Transformer drawing. It was definitely my first one that kind of had some success behind it. And looking at it, there's still like nostalgic memories that I have connected to it, but like I'm like,
but you hate it.
I hate it. I hate the fuck out of it because I've just surpassed it in so many ways.
Right.
Like, but I still brings a smile to my face because I remember like I did it for Jaina because she was such a Soundwave fan, and then she did one for me but included Squawk Box in it because mine didn't have Squawk Box, and she was like, you missed two. Damn. And added those two. So the new one has Squawk Box as well as the rest of them. It's more like an action as opposed to a standing piece, and we're recording this the Thursday a week ahead or before Thanksgiving. I have Overkill left to finish and Soundwave left to finish, and then the background stuff. So I'm almost
looking good
done.
so far.
Yeah,
thank you. But I'm so while I've been working on it, I've just been having my phone up there and like listening to shit while I've been working on it, which I rarely ever get the chance to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I was able to consume so much media.
Awesome.
This week. All right. So next is notes. And we will start off with Nintend-NO. So Nintendo is now refusing console repairs if you're rude to their staff.
That's great.
And not the most necessarily biggest news to do a deep dive in necessarily, but it says an update to Nintendo's Japanese repair and warranty regulations in October warned customers they may no longer be eligible for a product repair or replacement if they are found to have behaved inappropriately to staff. It includes instances where a staff member has been threatened or verbally abused, or where a customer may have been deliberately wasting their time. We made this decision after concluding our customers would understand because of the reputation we have built to faithfully responding to them. But anyway,
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
it's,
I'm good
it's
with
just that. Like it's just vague is all.
Yeah.
It needs to be up for review when it comes up. But yeah, man, I really don't like people being rude
shitty
to customer service.
Yes, I agree.
That's not necessary at all.
Yeah, and it's not their fault. Your shit broke. It might be the company's fault, but it's not that person you're talking to's fault.
And I guarantee you, a lot of the anger is over the urgency of the repair. Which I mean,
it's not that urgent. It's a fucking video.
That's right. If it's that important, just spend $300 and get another one.
Yep.
The Marvel Legends 5-pack. I wanted to talk about briefly the X-Men 5-pack. So
I'll be honest with you, that's some deep cut shit. I don't even know who those people are.
It has Joe May. So it has Strife.
I know who Strife is.
Okay,
that's it. Yeah.
Yep. It has Zero.
The gun guy.
He's like an all white. He has
Yeah.
a black. Yeah.
He shoots stuff.
And he has the portal that they move through.
Oh, that's Zero. That's a different. There's Agent Zero.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. And it had shit. All right, there it is. So it's the 60th anniversary villains 5-pack. So it has Zero, this guy here, Joe. Actually, I'll just pull this picture up.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah. That's the portal.
Yeah.
Random, which I want.
I recognize that guy.
He eventually joined X Factor.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's what it is.
And then it has Vertigo.
I know her, yeah.
And then it has this guy from the Reavers who I don't know.
Don't know, but like all the Reavers, just random robot dudes to me.
So the reason why I kept this in is because I'm torn on this. Because I only really want Random and Zero.
You don't want Strife?
I have a Strife.
Okay. Well, so it only comes in as a 5-pack.
Correct.
And how much is it?
$125
For 5 figures?
for 5 figures.
Not terrible.
Not at all.
Price wise, that's fine.
With
Yeah.
the prop and stuff. And Strife is a big guy.
Yeah.
And Random is a big guy too, really.
Yeah. So here's where I'm torn on it. I don't want 2 of the characters, so I only want 3 characters. And actually, even of the 3, I don't really need Vertigo. I really just want Zero and Random.
Is it a better Strife or is it the same?
I think it's the same old, different, better paint.
Okay.
So here's my thing, though. I've been championing the idea of them doing box sets of team characters that you
Yes.
wouldn't normally get
Yes.
otherwise, which this 100%
That's exactly
is.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I put my money where my mouth is and bite the bullet on the few characters that I don't want to support my own convictions?
I think you should, and
Okay.
then sell the
I
other
think you
figures.
should just sell them off.
At a desk somewhere.
Or,
That
hey,
you're going to have a desk next time.
There might be somebody listening that says, well, I only want these characters. You might be
Yeah.
able to just split it with somebody.
Yeah, hey,
I want a Bobby Skullface signed figure.
Yeah, guys, if you want Strife or that Reaver, Pretty Boy,
I mean,
Tell me.
But it's not a double. You might as well keep him since you don't have him.
who? Pretty Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've already missed some of the Reavers, so my team would all...
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
There's nothing more fun than backtracking Marvel Legends.
And Vertigo.
You just find a dirty matches at your local store near you.
Somebody was giving away a futon in the Mount Airy Facebook group the other day. I thought about getting it just for toy photos.
And Vertigo is one of the Marauders, right? Like Sinister's crew.
Like I said, I'm way past my...
All right, so I have
If it ain't on a Jim Lee cover,
I have a fun game for us to play.
oh boy.
So I am going to read a quote, okay? And then you guys have to come to a consensus as to
Okay.
whether or not it was said by Elon Musk or Mr. Burns. Okay?
Okay.
How did he turn from he went from Tony Stark to fucking Lex Luthor?
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Oppression and harassment are a small price to pay to live in the land of the free.
Mr. Burns. He wouldn't talk about the land of the free.
I'm going to say that's an Elon one.
Yeah.
All right. The politicians and unelected bureaucrats who stole our liberty should be tarred, feathered, and thrown out of town.
I think that's
I'm going to say Mr. Burns on that one.
This seems.
Although I have a feeling we may be completely wrong so far.
Yeah, this is the fun of the game. I'm enjoying this.
I'm not the thief. The government is. Every year you make hardworking Joes, like my reporter friend here, pay income taxes.
Burns. Hardworking Joes just
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a phrase that...
Yeah.
If there was a way that I could not eat so I could work more, I would not eat.
It sounds like
That's
Musk.
Musk.
Yeah.
No doubt on that one.
I should be able to run over as many kids as I want.
That's the Burns.
That's Burns. but
I feel you.
conceivably a future.
On this trend, on this downward spiral, yes.
There will be no Mars if we let them take our freedom away.
That's Musk, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. That's Mars very specific.
Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun.
I don't even.
I'm gonna say Musk on that one.
Sure.
Okay.
That one, I'm just
Could
like
go either way, right?
That's my lesson for taking a vacation. Vacations will kill you.
That's Burns.
Burns. Yeah.
Family, religion, friendship. These are the 3 demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business.
Oh, it could be either.
I'm gonna say Elon Musk,
But he has some of those.
but he's not beneath destroying them.
That's true.
I would tell those people they will get to see their families a lot when we go bankrupt.
Oh boy.
I think Musk. I don't think
Yeah.
Mr. Burns is talking about going bankrupt.
Yeah.
If you can take advantage of a situation in some way, it's your duty as an American to do it.
That's Elon Musk, I think.
I don't know. He's not American. I'll say Mr. Burns.
Yeah, but
on
he's
that one.
not saying he is. He's saying if you are an American.
That's true.
What's it going to be, fellas?
I'll say Musk.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right. Morons, pathetic morons in my employ stealing my precious money.
Burns. But just barely.
All right, let's see how we did.
Okay.
Oh, you actually took the...
Yeah. You scored a 50%.
Okay, well.
All right. Oppression and harassment are a small price to pay to live in the land of free. We said Musk, it's Burns. The politicians and unelected bureaucrats who stole our liberty should be tarred, feathered, and thrown out of town. We said Burns, it was Musk.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to read the ones we got right. Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. We said Burns. We said Musk, it was Burns. That's my lesson for taking vacation. Vacations will kill you. We said Burns, it was Musk. Family, religion, friendship. These are the three demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business. We said Musk. It was Burns. If you can take advantage of a situation in some way, it's your duty as an American to do so. We said Musk. It was Burns. Morons, pathetic. Well, that was one we got right.
So I will say the one about the sun, now that I think about it, there was a whole episode where basically he blotted out the sun, Burns did, to basically be able to charge more for electricity overnight. That's what it was.
Yes, that's right.
Deep dive. That's probably like season 3 or 4 when it was still good.
All right. So Chappelle.
Did you watch the whole episode?
No.
Okay.
I watched the monologue and the Game of Thrones.
Me too.
Okay.
That's what. And I watched one other skit, but it was trash.
What did you think of the monologue?
It was on brand. I mean, I knew that's what he was going to do. I'll be honest with you. I was surprised that there was not more direction given to him to not get
Touch
near
on
that.
yeah, and they let him seemingly have free reign, which I applaud.
Hey, at least he wasn't smoking on stage during the monologue.
So he comments on Trump. He comments on Kanye. He comments
Kyrie
on
Irving.
Censorship.
It's a basketball player who talks too much, basically.
So he basically what happened was
he wouldn't take the vaccine. So he basically they suspended him till he took it because he couldn't play.
Yeah,
because of policy.
And then he put out.
He also was a flat earther.
After the
he's a globe trotter.
Do you know that? Do you know what you call the sky when you're a flat earther?
What is that?
Flatmosphere.
So basically, he put up a link. He didn't really say anything about it, but after the Kanye shit took off, he put up a link. It was like from Hebrews to Negroes. It was a documentary about. I haven't seen it. I'm guessing like 12 Tribes of Judah and all that kind of stuff is my guess. So he got kind of put in the same penalty box that Kanye got put in. So I can't say anything other than it was brilliant.
Yeah.
What Dave said was brilliant. It was on par with him being brilliant pretty much all the time. But somebody who I will leave nameless just in case somebody wants to cancel them or whatever, wrote in a breakdown of it to me that I think is worth reading on the air.
Okay.
It was so masterfully done. The centerpiece of the joke being a group of black people is a gang, a group of Italians is a mob, and a group of Jewish people is a coincidence, and you should never talk about it.
Yeah.
He said all three of those statements are prejudiced against a minority, and even the first two are more prejudiced than the third one, which is left vague for the audience to apply its own prejudices upon. But because of this social conscience that we have currently, the anti-Semitic statement is the one everyone focuses on, and no one cares about the other two groups being slandered. Then he talks about Trump. He talks about Kanye. He talks about poor whites feeling the same way as blacks have always felt with the distrust of government. In the center of it all, he says, I've been to Hollywood, and there are a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood. And while that may be easy to assume, it's crazy to think that Jewish people run Hollywood. It's even crazier to say out loud. Also, in that same bit, he says, there's a lot of black people in Ferguson. We don't run that motherfucker. He said, again, the punchline in that joke on the surface is referencing all of our collective conspiracy and prejudice to the fact that Jewish people run Hollywood. But in fact, he's just reiterating the statement that if something is crazy to think, it's also crazy to say out loud. Combine that with what he had just said about Kanye's West and the mental illness is an excuse to say crazy things because mental illness can also give you the excuse to kill someone. Mm-hmm. Then finishing the entire thing off with, I hope they don't take anything away from me. Whoever they are. And they is left to an interpretation of the audience. Is it the conspiracy of Jewish people? Is it the corporation silencing free speech? Is it the audience making public entertainment difficult? Or is it his own past transgressions against the they, quote unquote, LGBTQ community? So well done and went over so many people's heads. And I can't, and that's who sent it in.
Oh wow!
And I can't agree with him.
Wow!
Anymore. I think that he nailed it. I think that's
great.
And it's like, dude, and the thing that he says about Trump in there that, like, I think that he helped explain, right? Because I think a lot of people that don't get it, that don't understand why people gravitated to this dude, he says, like, look, I'll tell you exactly when it happened. He was on a debate stage with Hillary Clinton, and they said, he said, you guys, you guys have loopholes and you guys cheat the system and whatever. And they're like, well, you cheat on your taxes. He's like, because you let me, because your system lets me. It makes me smart. And then they were like, well, then Trump said something about the lines like, if you wanted to stop that, you would just have to create the regulations to stop that. But you and I both know you won't, because the people that are funding you are also getting the same breaks that I'm getting. Mm-hmm. And he was like, and in that moment, a star was born.
Yeah.
You know, and like it is like, because he basically says like, never has a guy been inside the house and come outside the house and told everybody everything y'all thought was true, it's true. You know, like, and I think we are that way as a people sometimes, where like if something resonates with us to such a point, we have a hard time getting past anything else, because we're like, well, no, this is the guy that said this, and this changed my life, or it changed the way that I saw things, or whatever. Like, you know, and he makes this comparison of, you know, and he plays on stereotypes, right? Because that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
But he makes this comparison of like the quote unquote poor whites and the Trump supporters, like, well, we don't trust government, and he's like, you guys are just like black people. He's like, we've been on that. And he's like,
we've been on that.
Yeah, you know, and he's like, we don't. What was the other things that I forget? There was like a whole list of things like, we don't trust government. We've been on that. Like, it's hard out here. Like, we've been on that. Like, we, you know, like all this shit. So like, it was like masterclass. Like, that dude is the certified GOAT to me. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's interesting to watch all this stuff play out. But some of the shit that he said was so fucking funny. He was like, because talking about Kanye's tweets, and like, he said he was going to go to bed, and he said, when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going DEFCON 3, and he's like, oh my God, what is he going to do to the Jews? Like, you know, just like his voice and his, like, it's like so like infectious. All right, and then Blood and Origin. I kept this in there for you, Joe. If you watched the trailer for the new Witcher,
No, I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
Well, I also like I already wasn't about it when they announced them. Like, just make more of the shit that people want, please.
Yeah.
I don't care about this. I don't want this. Bring this out like fucking 6 years later.
What is this exactly? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Long prequel of The Witcher before Witchers existed, basically.
Is this an animated series?
No, live
action.
Oh, I didn't even hear
Because
about that.
like in the Witcher universe, there's a thing called conjunction. So like think about alternate dimensions, right? And every dimension has their own species. Like elves live in this world has elves. This world have fucking werewolves, whatever it is. And at some point, everything got mashed together, kind of like Secret War, right? And then now they're in the Witcher world, where like all these fucking monsters has to coexist with people, and then the Witchers are born from mad scientist creation to try to make humans strong enough to fight monsters.
Right.
So this was way before that.
Okay.
Before it got interesting.
So anyway, I watched it, the trailer. Seemed visually interesting, not knowing anything about it, and I liked the music a good bit.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear some good music,
There you go.
okay. I do have an interest in watching that. I just have to find the right time, right
You
state
didn't
of
watch
mind. I watched the first episode of the first season, and it didn't grab me. But I don't think I was in the right mindset to watch something like that.
See, I watched the first season, and
It's
then
great.
like I couldn't get into the second season.
It's not as good. I mean, I like it. I still
think
like
we watched
it.
3 or 4 episodes, and I just like never went back to it. It wasn't like a conscious decision. It just we moved on to other stuff.
There was a John Wick 4 trailer that
Yes.
dropped. Did you see that?
I did several times.
That shit bored the fuck out of me.
I'm glad.
Just the trailer.
It's not for you, Bobby.
I zoned out and came back in. I was like, oh shit, we're doing stuff. But somebody who listens to the show asked me to ask you
Okay.
how you felt about 4 John Wick movies, and only one of them, I can't remember the second or the third, has a tagline.
Parabellum would be the third one.
Yeah.
I thought it was strange. It is. I thought it was strange that the first two.
The person that I like, he's a huge John Wick fan, hates it.
hates the trailer.
No, hates that.
That's called Parabellum.
Yeah, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4.
chapter one, chapter two, chapter
yeah,
three.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody that says, "Oh, have you seen John Wick 3 Parabellum?"
right.
I didn't even think of it till you just
I
fucking
mean,
said it.
nobody. You know, it's not in the popular vernacular, but it is strange. I never really thought about the fact that they didn't, you know,
Make a third one.
sub-name the
third one.
after the third one.
Drives this dude nuts. But anyway, so what did you think of the trailer?
It's a lot. I'll be honest with you. I've watched it a couple times, and there's just so much going on.
I love the acting bit where he's like, they're like, you know, so the end of this and the end of that, and you know, hell and hell, you know, brimstone and fire and blah blah blah, and then John Wick is like, maybe not. Perfect. And I'm like, Oscar.
So
and the Oscar goes to.
So I remember where he was at the end of the last movie, which is in the gutter, literally. He just fell off the building,
cart.
and Mr. TikTok brings him to Morpheus.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the crossover. And, they decide, they're ready to get their revenge.
I'm down for this
I wanna
being
know where
like
that comes
a
from.
deeper part of the Matrix where they wake up and it's like, oh, fuck, this is at another level.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would make these movies make more sense.
Maybe they say some interesting things in it, like they're talking about the high table, which is the power, and talking about how he could take out somebody on the high table. Like I can't do that again. And he's like, well, your family has a seat at the table, which we don't know what that means yet, because as far as we knew, he was like an orphan adopted by Angelica Houston's ballet / fight club.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep, Bobby.
Isn't she part of the table, I thought?
I don't know. I don't think she's part of the table.
If she listens to this podcast, she's part of the cool table.
It is. It's the high. Let's just change it to the high table from now on.
And then lastly, the Del Toro Pinocchio movie trailer. Have you seen that?
There's another Pinocchio?
Another Pinocchio.
Benicio del
Is
Toro?
Pinocchio one of those ones like
Guillermo?
Why can't we have Benicio del Toro, though?
I'd be okay with that.
Is this
Who will we pay? Will we pay Geppetto or will we pay Pinocchio voiceover?
Geppetto.
Okay.
So is this like Winnie the Pooh, where it's the copyrights expired or the trademarks expired against Disney, or does Disney not even hold
I think
that?
I don't think Disney holds it because I think it's like an old.
It isn't. It's like the Little Mermaid.
So anyway,
a little it is on over here.
It's all stop motion. Dude, I'm getting.
You got to get that on the board.
I know. I had to fix the board. I had to have time. I feel like I'm burning it at both ends. What they say. What I was saying. The bit about that I watched it. What was I fucking gonna say? God damn it. I don't know. It looks good to me. Oh, it's all stop motion.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Maybe I did see. I guess I did see. I maybe saw a TV commercial for it. It was like 30 seconds or whatever.
And the other thing that I wanted to say about it was I still didn't see any kids smoking. And until I see kids smoking, I'm out.
Fair enough.
That's what
maybe George Lucas will make a director's cut and add the cigarettes.
It's never too soon to start.
They can hold them, they can light them, but they can't
smoke them.
Yeah.
So we got a couple questions. Sean W says, Black Panther spoiler free. That's right. 2 emails in the same episode. I have too much nonsense in my head to contain in one correspondence, but I don't think I have a second one from him.
Was it last?
We only have one.
Last week, maybe.
Black Panther 2 is the best thing to come out of Phase 4, and it's not even close. I realize that does not sound like much of an accomplishment, but it's really actually good. I agree. I mean, I love No Way Home, but that was for the nostalgia bait reasons, not the quality of the movie. The movie didn't have one character in it I loved half as much as Spider-Man, and it was still easily better. I agree with all of that. It felt like a true sequel to the first movie in a way that many MCU sequels do not. That's a good fucking point.
Yeah, it doesn't need any. You could have just seen that movie.
Yeah.
Understood.
I wonder if they chose to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because then you can just have this separate little universe.
Yeah. I don't know. At the same time, it added to the universe in a substantial way, which many MCU sequels also fail at. If I ever contemplate suicide, I will imagine Taika Waititi would have handled Namor and his underwater people, and that will no doubt give me the strength to go through with it. And my only real issue with the first movie, that lackluster final battle, was absolutely not an issue with this one. It's crazy. It's almost like if you don't deflate every moment or tension or gravitas with a stupid fucking joke, it really helps you invest in the movie. Imagine that. I assume you guys are not rushing to the theater to see anything MCU related these days, but I can't wait to hear your thoughts after you see it. So
you already did, buddy.
Yep. You've already had twice times 2.
I'll watch it when it streams.
And I think it's like it's a touchy thing to say because people are so fucking sensitive, but I think it's infinitely better than the first one. I think the first Black Panther is a very average Marvel movie. It kind of does the same thing that most Marvel movies do. I know it has cultural significance. I understand all that, but if you remove that and just look at the movie objectively, it's not great. That being said, this one is great. Jeremy B, he says, what's up, Nerd Ragers? I've got some sad news to share. I hate to hear it. After being in and out of the hospital since the beginning of summer, we laid Grandma Helen to rest last week at 91 years of age. Well, God bless her. You know, like she said, that's a long run, and God bless her. She lived a long and full life. Glad to hear it. It wasn't a life of ease or comfort, but one of grit, perseverance, and love. So much love. Helen grew up in West Virginia orphanage and conquered many challenges in her life. She has 6 children, 18 grandchildren, 24 great-grandchildren. Wow. She is very proud of that. I was also fascinated by her drive to continue learning and experiencing new things from becoming a pro from becoming a pro on the computer, learning to ride a motorcycle, and listening to her favorite nerd culture podcast with friends at the old folks' home. She was a special lady. May she rest in peace. No doubt, man.
Is our oldest listening?
That's our oldest listener.
Category is shrinking. So
yeah.
She also loved pro wrestling. So
rest in peace. Now to my question for the table. What does your funeral visitation playlist look like? Will it include all of your favorite songs, popular songs during your lifetime, songs about life or death, or just something to get the party started? Mine is currently being curated constantly. And it's just songs that I love that represent me.
yeah, I have a short list of songs I like played at whatever happens, and past that, have a good time.
And Spooky Tooth Pyramids is the theme. Is the opener.
I don't want a funeral. Just put me in a ditch.
There's laws,
But they do that. They do that after. You forgot what the funeral.
I don't need that part.
Do you want it where the
waste
guys?
of time and money?
See, I think the ditch part is actually the waste of time and money.
No, I mean like ditch me like as in like in the woods somewhere and let the birds eat me.
Donate yourself to the body farm.
That works too. I can see that.
Yeah,
It's
which
like
is science.
science.
Yeah, they can make you could be what causes actors to not have faces.
Bro,
I'm
down.
Meta.
prophet of the faceless.
Yeah. Sanjay writes in, hey, NRR, there are some figures I'm not displaying, but just can't bring myself to sell because I like them so much. I've even been displaying them in my storage closet between and on top of boxes. Do you guys have similar experiences?
No,
No.
at all.
No, but Sanjay, if you like them that much, unless your setup's great, but reevaluate some of your space.
Yeah,
Maybe
find a
you need
place.
to put those out somewhere.
Find a place, and not everything needs to be in.
You know someone. I haven't been there. You've been there, where just shit's coming out the walls, and that can work if that's the look.
JD?
You're going, yeah, exactly. If that's the look you're going for.
Yeah, and his shit. I don't know if his girl is on board with that. I'll be honest with you, but but there is room. There is room.
There's always room. You have to commit to it. Which I'm horrible at.
And find it. It's tricky, but it's just think of it as another display challenge. Whew. Okay, we got a one here from Chioke. I think I always fuck that up. What up, Nerd Ragers? Greeting from Canada. At this point, I haven't figured out your recording schedule, so I have no idea when this question will air, but happy belated
Keep you on
birthday,
your toes.
Chris.
Thank you. We haven't figured it out either.
It's been a while, and I don't remember if you've been asked this question before, but if you could design a theme park for a franchise, what franchise would it be for, and what kind of rides would you want? I'd personally want to see an X-Men park where you can tour the X-Mansion, a Blackbird roller coaster, and the Buzz Lightyear ride from Disneyland, but with Professor X hover chair and laser gun.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. I don't know.
I mean, that sounds great.
Yeah, that does sound great. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't. You know what I think would be cool? A horror themed.
Yeah, I was
theme
just
park.
thinking that the horror.
You know, and have characters.
All the classic.
Well, they do that seasonally down in our Universal Studios. They do Halloween Horror Nights every year.
Oh, there you go. But something like that was full time. There's like based around I don't know.
Haunted houses all year.
It'd have the Universal monsters. It'd have the slasher type characters.
They put you in a coffin, lock you in there for an hour, and don't let you out. That. That's
There actually is an experience.
But
like
you had to solve the
You have to-
Hellraiser box.
You have to solve a Rubik's Cube with no stickers on it. Yeah.
He said, second thing I'd like to ask is, what do each of you think is your worst annoying habit that's harmless? For instance, I have a bad habit of speaking in an incredibly average imitation of the accent of whatever show or movie I've most recently seen for a whole week, and I'm not 100% sure that everyone around me... Oh, he said, and I'm 100% sure everyone around me is over it by the first 5 minutes. If you'd like to add a bit of fun, the other cast members can either agree or disagree. If they disagree or follow elaboration on the topic, is that's interesting. Huh? What do you think?
Harmless character trait.
Or habit or shit that annoys.
I eat my fingers all the time.
I've
I
gotten
feel
back
I can imagine it can grow some people out.
I've had stopped chewing my nails, and I pick the skin around the inside.
It's the skin. It's not don't shoot a nail. It's all the thick extra
that's
skin
probably
you have.
Yeah, I do it to a fault. I'm looking at all three of us here.
We're bro, our fucking fingers are.
When I'm anxious, it's probably what I do.
Yeah.
Not consciously.
Mine's probably vaping.
Yeah.
It's probably the most annoying, kind of relatively harmless thing that I do around people.
I don't even notice
I like it when I don't mind it first and foremost, but second of all, I like it when you have a good flavor. And I'm like,
Yeah. Oh,
good vibes.
cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that this. I think that unfortunately that most of my character traits or habits that are annoying are harmful annoying, not necessarily harmless annoying. They're like, oh man, I hate when he makes fun of me or says something ridiculous and it offends me or whatever the case may be. Also, yeah, She-Hulk is without a doubt the worst thing to come out of the MCU. It might just be the worst show I've personally ever seen. I put it right alongside Riverdale, which I regret.
What's Riverdale?
The Archie comic show.
Okay.
He regrettably watched 4.5 seasons of in high school, and Rings of Power. I know you guys like it, and that's great, but I personally have zero enjoyment out of anything that wasn't Elrond or Durin. On the other hand, House of Dragon is absolutely phenomenal. Chris, please catch up.
By the way, I did watch. I think I have 2 episodes left.
Oh my god!
I'm not watching it by myself, so I'm not on my. If it was
somebody's
me,
not a cheater.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm not cheating.
Anyways, thanks for the number 1 of 1 podcast that I listened to. Y'all have helped me get through many boring days. Our pleasure. Awesome. Shrunken scrotums or scroties. It's starting to get a bit chilly up here. P.S. Bobby, I finally got around to the Righteous Gemstones after forgetting about it every time you recommended it. Love it. Thank you. PSSS Nerd Rage 238. The Rona Romp. 1 hour and 2 minutes to 1 hour to 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Oh, to still have hope. I'd have to go back and listen.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
What are you listening to?
Tell me that. I'm going to write that down because I am going to check it out.
Yeah, actually, let's pause it real quick and just find it.
Oh, we have it.
Kind of hard to get excited about, whatever, the Eternals as much as it is to get excited about Thor, perhaps.
Yeah.
But,
and at least they've made it last a good long time. 10+ years.
Agreed. But She-Hulk's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see that on the big screen or on the silver screen.
Wow.
Way to do some digging. All right. And then we have from Luke. Luke says, Bubby, love the new show on Patreon with your guys from work. Really don't know how you have time to do everything. Thank you. That Patreon show is getting a lot of love. Like the comment section is crazy. It's called The Kitchen Table. So he says, Joe, if you enjoy Alone, maybe check out The Island with Bear Grylls. It's an older show from the UK where they put some Brits on a tropical island and leave them on the land for themselves for like 6 weeks, running their own cameras, etc. It's fun watching people in stressful situations accomplish things that we take for granted, like finding food or making drinkable water. Plus, it's a bunch of Brits getting sunburnt and gobby with each other, which is always a laugh. Dante, if you're about, have you seen Daisy Fresh on YouTube? Series with the Pedago submission fighting team. I don't know. This guy is the man, etc., etc. So really check that out if you're into that. Chris, hope you're feeling better, and fingers crossed that you had a good birthday.
Oh, thank you.
AEW have announced they're coming over to England, which I'm excited about. Got a big crew of my Mark friends who are stoked about getting some drinks in and watching something different to the Fed. Speaking of which, what are your thoughts on Punk to WWE rumors? On the Punk to WWE? Mm-hmm. Much love, gents. Thanks for all the hard work. All the best, Luke.
So, just a little bit of inside baseball. The Fed is commonly WWE.
Oh, okay.
It was the World Wrestling Federation for years, so people just call it the Fed. I did see that they're coming to the UK, and it's funny. We were watching wrestling last night, and Kelly said, does that mean we're going to go to England? I'm like, I'm down. Let's go. He's like, it'll give you a reason to go somewhere. Which spiraled into basically us talking about taking vacations around going to wrestling shows, which, hey, listen, if that's, she's like, you book the trip. If there's a wrestling show, we'll go one night, and the rest of the time we'll do whatever else.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go to Japan and do that. So, Punk. I don't remember how much of this. Basically, the last big AEW pay-per-view, they were doing these like press scrums after where the interviewers, and CM Punk just won the championship and then lost his fucking mind and basically talked shit about half the locker room, including the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega by name. It wasn't any vague booking. It was like literally saying that Bobby Skullface motherfucker. Yeah. There was a legit fight in the back after this press conference thing, and everybody got suspended while they did an investigation. CM Punk seems to be the bad guy in the investigation's eyes. They had stripped him of the championship and hasn't been seen since. Wow. Although he still is there.
Oh, so he's not part of the show.
He hadn't been on the show since then.
No, the drama is real.
The drama's real. That's all real.
I don't know. You say sometimes it's part of the show. Sometimes it's beef.
It's tricky.
I'll try to clarify going forward. Yeah. So all this is legit has happened.
That sucks.
And you know, the thing with
wrestling and everything.
The thing with wrestling is there's all these blurred lines, and you never know. Kind of, I think I told a story about how, you know, in Memphis, this guy was running around with a fucking knife trying to cut people, and the sheriff was in the front row, thought it was part of the show, and didn't try to stop anything. So now there's rumors that he might be going back to WWE. I know he's still in an AEW contract, and I do know that he still is somehow the #1 merch seller So if I'm AEW, I'm probably just going to ride his contract out and keep getting that merch money.
You can't fire the talent.
Yeah.
Like it does, like, you know, it's an interesting conversation. Probably too late in the game today to have it, but like, if you own the Bulls and Michael Jordan fucks up, he doesn't deserve the same punishment as the guy that just got on the team.
I mean, that's legitimately the exact argument, and it's funny you say that because Punk is a huge Chicago guy. Like, wears the Chicago flag on his gear and stuff. So, nice analogy there.
Yeah, by circumstance.
Yes,
I'm connected to the universe in many ways.
Maybe. That's my 2 cents on it, though.
Yeah. So with that, hope you guys are having a happy Thanksgiving with loved ones.
Yes.
And
hopefully you went and watched our video.
Hopefully you did.
Cross promotion, Bobby.
Yeah, because I'm going to put it up the same day, I think. Shout out to the rest of Cool Table. As far as I'm concerned, if you listen to this podcast, you're part of the Cool Table as well. And
I did want to mention CrashWarsCustoms.com. We're open until the end of November. The website will be open. All the stuff's up there. All the mythic pieces, the old stuff, new stuff, complex. It's all available to order. So get that in by the end of November because we're going to close for the year.
And the Patreon books are open, and the blanket sales go up tomorrow. That's what I wanted to say. The Soundwave blankets go up tomorrow. That's the only reason why I mentioned. So it doesn't matter. I'm not good at this.
You've only been doing this for fucking 10 years.
Yeah. And shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team. Might as well do a thought of the week because we haven't done that in a while. But shout out to Dante on our Facebook, and shout out to Raul on our Instagram, and shout out to Phil on our Twitter.
However long that was still going to last.
I did want to mention that the thought of the week, Twitter has some new fans because apparently Mason showed his friends some of this, and now I don't know if they've started following, but he says we might have some new audience based on the thought of the week. It's not what this show is, people.
But it can be. This is of a young lady at Luxlow Cosplay. She is playing Daphne, the Scooby-Doo character, and she is bent over looking for some clues, I imagine, Joe. You can imagine.
Clues.
And she says, "My glasses." And Phil responded, I believe this pic just corrected and enhanced my vision.
Yes!
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
Joe loves the feeling.
And shout out to Ricky Tiki Timber on the videos. And with that,
Slappy Labius.
Tasty taint.
tight dick player.
Turkey.